Chapter 234. When they arrived at the villa, the security guard at the entrance stopped the two cars. After all, it was a private house. It was not a public place. Shenlin was in charge of communicating with the security guard. He placed his right hand on the security guard's shoulder and pointed at Grandpa Shen in the car. He said to the security guard, "I'll tell you his identity secretly. Send someone to verify it. Then, tell me which villa this girl lives in. We're going to see her. She's Grandpa Shen's granddaughter. Now that she's in danger, you don't want anything bad to happen to the villa when you're on duty, do you?" The security guard lowered his head and looked at Grandpa Shen through the window. He took the identity card and the phone from Shenlin and turned around to verify it. After confirming Grandpa Shen's identity, he was shocked. He quickly told Shenlin which villa Muqiqi lived in. Then he let them pass. After that, Shenlin returned to the car. But Sun Suyin said sarcastically, "Shenlin is so protective of Muqiqi. I'm afraid that the security guard has already informed him. I don't think that Muqiqi has done anything shameful. So, she won't know that we're going to the villa tonight." Shenlin explained. "But you third aunt, someone sent us a message. He asked us to come and see Muqiqi. Why do you look so excited? Is there a conspiracy behind this? Whether there is a conspiracy or not, we'll know when we go and see her. Grandpa has made it clear. If Muqiqi did not spread those rumors in the message, you and Shin Ruai will be kicked out of the Shin family this time." Sun Suyin was not scared. Moreover, she had followed Muqiqi for a long time. If she did not have any evidence, how would she dare to lure Grandpa Shin to the villa? "You should worry about Muqiqi. Brother, this has nothing to do with us." Shin Ruai explained to Shenlin. "We've promised Dad that we won't cause any trouble in the Shin family. So we'll keep our promise." But who would believe what Shin Ruai said? At least, second brother and his family did not believe it. Soon, the two cars found the house number of Muqiqi's villa. Seeing that the lights in the villa were on, they were sure that there must be someone inside. However, whether it was Muqiqi and that man, they would only know if they went in. Grandpa Shen glanced at Shenlin and signaled him to knock on the door. However, Sun Suyin stood in front of Shenlin and stopped him. "What if he alerts Muqiqi? We are already at the door. Why are you reminding me?" Although Shenlin said so, he still took 2 steps back and let Sun Suyin knock on the door. No one knew what was going on behind the door, and whether Muqiqi was living with a man. Sun Suyin stared at Shenlin. She walked to the front of the villa and rang the doorbell. Soon, a man walked out and opened the door for the Shuns. When the Shuns realized that this was the man in the photo, their facial expressions changed. However, Sun Suyin was smiling coldly and proudly. "Who are you looking for?" The man asked the Shen family curiously. "Father, did you see it? It seems that someone sent a message to us. He is not lying. He is already in the villa. Since Muqiqi is living with a man, it is impossible for her to escape from this, right?" Sun Suyin looked at the man who was crossing his arms. He was not afraid at all when he said those sarcastic words. "May I know who you are looking for? Do you know that you are trespassing on private property?" Huang Yu glanced at Shenlin. Shenlin understood what Huang Yu meant. So he pulled Sun Suyin away and explained to the man. "We are Muqiqi's family. We are here to see her." "You are living with Muqiqi. Don't you know her relationship with the Shin family?" Sun Suyin provoked him. "You are right. A bastard and a man are a match." The man listened for a long time before he understood what Sun Suyin was talking about. He was furious. He pointed at Sun Suyin and said, "Who are you? How can you talk nonsense without knowing the truth? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. Just let us in to see what's going on." Sun Suyin raised her eyebrows. "This is a private property. I don't know how you came in. I must confirm your identity first." The man pushed his glasses up. He looked at everyone with suspicion and anger. "What else is there to confirm? This is Muqiqi's grandfather." Sun Suyin pointed at Grandpa Shen and said to the man, "The security guards let us in. What else do you have to suspect?" "Father, let's go in. It's better not to believe this man's words. Let me tell you, don't look down on Muqiqi. She is living with a man at the age of 18. She is the most shameless person." Grandpa Shen's face was tense. He did not say a word. No matter how Tsun tried to provoke him, he did not say a word. The rest of the Shen family did not say anything either. After all, they had not seen Muqiqi yet. Tsun seemed to be the one telling the story. You can't go in. The man stretched his hand to stop Tsun, but Tsun pushed him away. Go away. Then, she went into the villa first. After that, Grandpa Shun and the others followed her into the villa. But what they saw was not a scene of a man and a woman living together. It was Muqiqi and another girl of the same age. They were tutoring at home. When Muqiqi saw the Shen family, she put down the notebook in her hand and stood up. Grandpa, why are you here? They did not see anything unsightly between Muqiqi and a man. Instead, they saw Muqiqi was studying hard. Shouldn't it be a scene of catching an adulterer? It was fine if it was not a scene of love. But there was not even the most common smell of life. Shen Lin immediately walked in front of Muqiqi under Huang Yu's instruction. He said, someone is slandering you for living with a man. So all of us came here to watch a good show. Qiqi, I'm going to walk around the villa now. I don't want some people to make a fuss about it. Muqiqi's eyes darkened, but she nodded. All right. Shen Lin moved quickly. He looked around the whole place. Then, he went downstairs and told everyone, there is nothing that belongs to a man. Of course not. I'm their tutor. The man who was slandered immediately explained. I come here on time every afternoon. It's not what you think. I'm going to sue you for slandering me. The tutor pointed at Tsun and said loudly. Well, Tsun was dumbfounded. She looked at Shenruai. Chapter 235. Tsun's palms were sweating when she saw that. Grandpa Sheng's face was tense. He sat on the sofa in the living room of the villa. Qiqi, tell me quickly. What is going on? Aren't you staying with your aunt in a small villa? Why do you have a house here? And you didn't tell me about it? Muqiqi listened to Huang Yu's question. She looked at Grandpa Sheng and explained to him. This house belongs to my uncle. It's very close to Enchanting University. It's convenient for me to go to school. If you don't believe me, you can check the ownership of this villa. Do I need to tell others about the things my uncle gave me? I didn't tell you because I don't think it's necessary. It's just a temporary place to stay. My uncle just let me stay here recently. Is there a need to make such a big fuss? I see. But someone has an ulterior motive. He thinks that you are living with a man. Huang Yu pointed at Tsun with her chin. Muqiqi looked at Tsun coldly. Third aunt, I'm not living with a man. You can go around the villa and see if you can find a man. Tsun was stunned. The person in front of you used to be a forensic doctor from the criminal police. He comes to teach me every day, just so that I can master the practical knowledge of forensic science. Besides, there are also students from Enchanting University who attend my lessons every day. What do you think I am? Why are you asking me? I'm not the one who said that you are living with a man. Someone sent a message to all of us. Tsun started to act shamelessly. She did not want to admit that it was related to her. Besides, everyone is just here to confirm it. It's great that you are innocent. Why are you still holding on to me? If that's the case, go back. It's just a false alarm. Stop. Muqiqi stopped Tsun when she turned around. Do you think that you can come and go as you please in someone else's house? What else do you want me to do? Tsun turned around and asked Muqiqi. I told you that it has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you. Muqiqi sneered and stood up. I don't think so. Since you think it's related to me, then show me the evidence. Tsun did not plan to admit defeat at all. Even if she did not find anything, she had used someone else's phone number to send the message. She destroyed the phone number after that. Muqiqi would not be able to find anything. You're quite confident. Don't tell me that the Shen family's information was leaked by yourself. Who has privacy now? Isn't it easy for them to investigate our family? Tsun was not flustered at all. She was determined to deny everything. I was wondering why you kept stalking my classmate for the past few days. I'm afraid it's because of what you did today, right? Muqiqi took out her phone and played the video. Yesterday, the security guard at the door told me to be careful because someone was following me. He even showed me this video. I didn't know what the other party's purpose was, but, Grandpa, you came today. Whether it has nothing to do with you. Third aunt. You can ask this classmate to confront her. Since you're here today, don't think that you can get out easily. Sun Suyin did not expect Mu Chichi to have a video. She quickly signaled Shen Ruai with her eyes. Shen Ruai stood up for Sun Suyin when she saw that. Chichi, it's not that I want to scold you. Why didn't you investigate it earlier when you knew that someone was following you? Or, are you doing this on purpose, so that we will be kicked out of the Shen family? Is that what you're planning? Do you mean that I've written and directed this show just to target you and your daughter? Isn't that the case? Today, I finally know what it means to be the guilty party, who accuses the victim first. I was tutoring at home, when the Shen family indiscriminately barged in, and said that I was living with a man. Grandfather, don't tell me that you want to believe that mother and daughter again? Mu Chichi turned around and asked Grandpa Shen. I told you that I noticed someone was following me, but I'm not sure what their purpose is. Did I purposely direct this show myself? Don't try to hurt yourself. You have to make Grandpa believe you every time. Since you can't show us any evidence, we can assume that you've planned all this. Shen Ruai continued to attack. Mu Chichi opened her mouth and was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Chichi, I got the results of the surveillance around the villa. Come home tomorrow. Mu Chichi was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Aunt, I'm in trouble now. Can you come over? Mu Chichi felt wronged. Okay. Su Zipei only said one word. Then she told Lu Wenhua. It seems that the Shen family is here. Chichi needs our help. Let's go. Let's go. Lu Wenhua took his coat and left with Su Zipei. On the other hand, Shen Chichi thought that Mu Chichi did not have any evidence because Sun Suyun and her daughter were shameless enough to distort the truth. Dad, Mu Chichi is plotting against you. Why are you all so stupid? She's just putting on a show for you. Maybe she's just taking away the things of the men in the house and pretending to be studying to deceive you. Sun Suyin was getting more and more serious as she talked. She did not want to let go of Mu Chichi. Dad, anyone can see that someone wants to frame Mu Chichi. But she failed. So, she's trying to frame Mu Chichi. If Chichi was not in class but doing something else, and was really misunderstood, her scheme would have succeeded. If she did not succeed, she could then turn around and accuse Chichi of framing her and chasing her away. She would be in the right anyway. Would there still be any justice? Huang Yu could not help but speak out for justice. What? Huang Yu, you're on Mu Chichi's side. Of course, you'll speak for her. But, don't forget that Mu Chichi can even defeat Rong Junhan. Not to mention you. Sun Suyin said to Huang Yu. This girl is very powerful. Dad, you should say something too. Huang Yu was worried. Shen Lin. Grandpa Shen did not say anything else. He just asked Shen Lin to bring the classmate to the villa according to the information provided by Mu Chichi. But Sun Suyin stopped him. Dad, the classmate is also Mu Chichi's friend. What if Mu Chichi colluded with him to frame me? Sun Suyin rolled her eyes. Chapter 236. Fine. Since you said that you are not slandering me, what will you say if I can show you the evidence that you and your daughter framed me? I will leave the Shen family now. I will not say a word. Sun Suyin said confidently. You said it. Then Mu Chichi turned to Grandpa Shen. Please wait for me for 10 minutes. What if you slander us? Sun Suyin was not stupid. Since Mu Chichi had made a request, they wanted to get something out of it. I will leave the Shen family from now on. I will never appear in the Shen family again. You said it too. The two of them confronted each other. None of them wanted to give in. It was because Sun Suyin did not believe that Mu Chichi could show any evidence. Mu Chichi was just playing a psychological game. She was betting on whether Grandpa Shen would believe her. They sat in the living room and waited. Mu Chichi asked the tutor and her classmates to go home. But the tutor did not look good after being slandered. When he left, he still said that he wanted to sue Sun Suyin. Sun Suyin was not afraid. She wanted to sue Mu Chichi. Anyway, the most important thing was to win against Mu Chichi. There was nothing that could not be solved with money. Everyone waited in the house. 10 minutes passed. Another 10 minutes passed. However, the evidence did not come. Sun Suyin laughed out loud this time. Mu Chichi, have you used up all your tricks? I have given you 20 minutes. You still can't show me anything. Shouldn't you keep your promise and never step into the Shen family? At this moment, Su Zipei and Lu Wenhua arrived at the villa. They had a complicated expression when they saw the Shen family. Chi-Chi, what is going on? Aunt, I will tell you everything later. But now, tell me the result of the investigation. You told me that you were being followed yesterday. So, I went to check the surveillance cameras around the villa to see if I could find any clues. Then I found this. Su Zipei took out her phone and showed it to Mu Chi-Chi. Mu Chi-Chi passed the phone to Grandpa Shen after she finished reading it. This is the surveillance footage for 5 days. For the past 5 days, Sun Suyin had been sneaking around outside the villa. It was a fact. Take a look for yourself. After Grandpa Shen finished reading it, he threw the phone to Sun Suyun. Sun Suyun's facial expression changed when she saw it. Don't tell me that Chi-Chi was the one who arranged for you to stay in the villa. No, father. She's the one who framed me. Otherwise, why would she know to look for the surveillance camera? Sun Suyun tried to argue. I don't know you at all. It was the villa's security who told Chi-Chi that someone was following her yesterday. That's why I went to the villa's security to check the surveillance footage. I wanted to see if I could find any clues. Could it be that I can predict that something like this would happen tonight? Aren't you being too unreasonable? Furthermore, even now, I still don't know what exactly happened. Everyone in the Shen family saw how Sun Suyin was waiting for them in the villa. I was wondering why you lured everyone here. So you went to check on Chi-Chi's absence from the villa for a few days. You think that Chi-Chi is living with a man just because you saw her going in and out with a man? Sun Suyin, are you still going to deny it? Could it be that Chi-Chi ordered you to wait outside the villa to be filmed, so that you could frame yourself? Sun Suyin did not expect that Su Zipei would send her the surveillance footage. She thought that she would succeed this time. Sun Suyin could not deny it when she saw the footage. It was because she was the only person in the footage. There was no one else. Continue to deny it. Grandpa Shen shouted. You and your daughter are in cahoots with each other. You're so despicable. How could you put on a show for the whole night? Sun Suyin swallowed her saliva nervously. At this moment, she could not explain herself anymore. Say it. You were so proud just now. Why can't you say anything now? Shen Ruai could not hold it in anymore when she saw how fierce Grandpa Shen was. She ran to him and hugged his leg. Grandpa, please forgive us. We were forced to do this. Ever since Mu Chi-Chi came, you don't even care about me. I'm so sad. That's why I did this. However, Grandpa Shen was not moved at all. He lifted his leg and flung Shen Ruai away. Get lost. Do you think that I will believe you now? Shen Ruai did not expect that Grandpa Shen would have such a big reaction. She was flung away and rolled a few times. Then, her head hit the hard corner of the coffee table. Shen Ruai screamed in pain. Her forehead was bruised and fresh blood was flowing out. Sun Suyin hugged Shen Ruai immediately when she saw that. My poor daughter. Someone please save my daughter. No one can save you tonight. This time, whether third brother divorces you or not, there's no place for you in the Shen family. This time you'd better get lost. Don't let me see you again. Grandpa Shen had made up his mind. This time, he had made up his mind to get rid of the mother and daughter. Someone please save us. Shen Lin, when you get home, throw all the belongings of third brother and his family out of the Shen family. Also, everything in the Shen family, especially my will not have a single cent of you and your daughter. Don't even think about it in this lifetime. At that moment, Sun Suyin could not hear anything, because she knew that she had failed. Mom, I'm in pain. It's so painful. Be good. Let's go and find your father. Let's go and find your father. Sun Suyin got up from the ground. Then, she carried Shen Ruai and left the villa. It was because she was too ashamed to stay there. Grandpa Shen did not stop her. Anyway, it was a fact that the three of them had been kicked out of the Shen family. Suddenly, the atmosphere became quiet. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shen worriedly. Is your body okay? I have to stand up for you no matter what. I can't collapse like that like the last time. Grandpa Shen patted Mu Chi-Chi's hand and said, Grandpa, that mother and daughter have only themselves to blame. Fortunately, Mrs. Lu came in time. Otherwise, that mother and daughter would have succeeded. Huang Yu could not help but get angry when she thought of the mother and daughter's faces. Dad, don't be angry. We are not aiming for the inheritance. We will take good care of you. Grandpa Shen nodded. It was a tiring night. Chi-Chi, I'm going home. You calm down. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shen worriedly. Then, she sent the Shen family to the villa. Susie Pei looked at Grandpa Shen leaving. Then, she grabbed Mu Chi-Chi's hand. Let's go home. Aunt, did I lie to Grandpa? That mother and daughter had ill intentions, so they deserved to end up like this. You don't have to take it to heart. As for how the old man will react when he finds out about you in the future, you'll have to bear with it, because this is your choice. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. I understand. It's a pity that I can't see their luggage being thrown out. Chapter 237. On the way back, the Shuns did not say a word, especially Grandpa Shen. He seemed to have aged a lot. He was not as kind and humorous as he used to be. Too many things had happened recently, and he was exhausted. Father, let me handle these things in the future. Since Shen Lin has not joined the army, let him accompany you fishing more often. Also let Chi-Chi come here often. Grandpa Shen held Shen Lin's hand and nodded. You can't be missing anymore. I can't do anything about those two people. Don't worry, Grandpa. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll be a decent person in the future. Shen Lin told Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen was relieved. He went back to his room to rest after they returned to the Shen family. At the same time, Shen Lin threw third brother's family's belongings out of the Shen family's door. This time, they would never be able to return to the Shen family. Third brother knew about it on his way home. He also knew about the ending of his family. It was a promise he made, so he had no choice but to leave the Shen family. It was all Sun Xuyin's fault. He did not want his luggage now. He needed to find a house for them first. Then he went to the hospital. Shen Ruai's head was injured. She was bandaged now. Third brother sighed when he saw the mother and daughter hugging each other and crying bitterly. How could he blame others for his own death? Rong Junhan was defeated by Mu Chi-Chi. How dare you overestimate yourself? I've told you to keep a low profile. Look at what happened. It's only been a few days, and you've caused trouble again. This time, there will be no place for us in the Shen family's living room. The mother and daughter cried bitterly. At the same time, their hearts were filled with hatred. Shen Ruai was hurt. She even swore in her heart that she would be outstanding one day. Then, she would make the Shuns regret for bullying them. She would do it. In the villa, Mu Chi-Chi was taking out Xiao Xiao's belongings from the warehouse one by one. She put them back in their original places. When Sheng Xiao returned home from Huang Yao, he saw Mu Chi-Chi was absent-minded. He pressed her against the wall and looked into her eyes. Why? Are you unhappy that third brother and his family have left? Of course I'm happy. But I also feel that I'm too weak to admit our relationship in front of my grandfather. Mu Chi-Chi looked into Sheng Xiao's eyes. That's why I have to hide your things. I can't let anyone find them. I think I hate myself for being like this. You are the crown prince of Huang Yao. You are in love, but you can't make it public. You have to accompany me in such a childish secret relationship. I like it. Sheng Xiao lifted Mu Chi-Chi's chin and said with a teasing smile. Whether it's in the open or in the dark, it's more interesting when I'm with you. The form doesn't matter. Xiao Xiao. Alright, it's such a good day, don't say such depressing words. Or do you want me to punish you so that you'll shut up? Mu Chi-Chi immediately covered her mouth. I haven't showered yet. I'm covered in dust. Go wash up. I want to see you in bed in 10 minutes. Mu Chi-Chi covered her mouth and quickly moved away from Sheng Xiao's arms, leaving Sheng Xiao with the burden of tidying up the place. Since she's the little thing I like, I have to spoil her till the end. Grandpa Shen was the only one who felt bad that night. It was not because of Mu Chi-Chi. It was because of his daughter-in-law and granddaughter. So his daughter-in-law and granddaughter were such evil people. Did he not teach them well enough? Grandpa Shen sighed when he thought of that. And early the next morning, he called Sheng Xiao. When are you free? Have some tea with Grandpa Shen. Sheng Xiao was holding Mu Chi-Chi in his arms. His eyes darkened when he heard that. Tomorrow. Then Grandpa Shen prepare the tea. Be punctual. Mu Chi-Chi seemed to hear her grandfather's voice. She quickly sat up from the bed. Sheng Xiao told her. Your grandfather is still suspicious. He's still suspicious. So, he asked me to test it out. Then you. That's not something you should worry about. Go wash up. I'll send you to school. Sheng Xiao did not want to put the pressure on his little one. So, he slapped her, but early in the morning. Mu Qiqi pouted and got off the bed. Suddenly she had an impulse. When she saw Sheng Xiao following her into the bathroom, she stopped brushing her teeth and said, "Why don't we tell him? I have my own plans." Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi. "Then, how will you answer Grandpa?" Actually, Grandpa Shen had been suspicious. It meant that he was mentally prepared. So it was better to see how Grandpa Shen would react before speaking. Perhaps to stop Mu Qiqi from asking any more questions, Sheng Xiao picked her up and put her on the sink. Then he took away her toothbrush. "Xiao Xiao, I'll press you every time you ask. Let's see how much energy you have." Could Mu Qiqi say that she regretted it? It was early in the morning. She had to wear a scarf to class. Otherwise, the marks would be seen. He was such an annoying man. The departure of Sun Suyun and her daughter did not affect the lives of the Shen family much. But Huang Yu was more filial to Grandpa Shen now, because she knew that when Grandpa Shen calmed down, he would definitely miss Shen Ruoyi. At the very least, she was his granddaughter who grew up in the Shen family. He still had feelings for her. So, she asked Shen Lin to stay with Grandpa Shen. "Mom," Grandpa asked Uncle Sheng to meet him. "Do you know why?" Huang Yu shook her head when she heard Shen Lin's question. "I don't know. Maybe. He has something to discuss with him." On the other hand, Lin Muan passed by the martial arts club where Lu Qianqian worked out in the morning. Suddenly, he thought of the time when he was with Lu Qianqian. This little pepper was really annoying. She said that she would not contact him anymore. Thinking of this, Lin Muan said to the driver, "Stop the car here. I want to go out and have a look." The driver nodded and stopped the car by the roadside. Lin Muan could not help but go to the martial arts club. Then, he saw Lu Qianqian practicing punching sandbags in the club. This damned woman was really ruthless. "Since you don't contact me, you should not come to this martial arts club." Lin Muan could not help but walk to Lu Qianqian. He crossed his arms and leaned against her sandbag. "Do you really mind what others say about you? Don't you care?" Lu Qianqian glanced at him. Of course, she was panting because she was punching sandbags. "I don't care. I care." Lu Qianqian pushed him away. "You are blocking my practice. I will continue to be your training partner." "Bastard, I am already avoiding you. Can't you see it?" Lu Qianqian said angrily. "We are not on the same path. Moreover, don't come here anymore. Is this your family's club?" "You are right. This martial arts club is indeed owned by my family." Chapter 238. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for being with a second-hand woman? Lu Qianqian stopped and looked at Lin Mu, and with sweat all over her face. Perhaps, deep down in her heart, she wanted to have a friend too. But if the friend was different from Mu Qiqi, she might be defeated by the rumors at any time. She could be crushed by rumors at any time. So she would only increase the burden on each other by making friends with such a person. Lin Mu and looked at Lu Qianqian and said nothing. "If that's the case, don't embarrass us. Don't come here anymore." Then, Lu Qianqian turned around and left. But Lin Muan did not chase after her. Because he was not prepared for it. He never thought that he would have to risk offending his family just to make a friend. Lu Qianqian's decision was the right one. Since he could not stand other people's opinions, he should stop as soon as possible. But Lin Muan felt uncomfortable. Since he had deleted someone else's number, he should be more decisive. He would be looked down upon by others if he was so wishy-washy. Lu Qianqian hid behind him and watched Lin Mu and leave the martial arts club. Then she told the receptionist, "If this man comes again, refund him all his fees. Ask him to find another place to train." "Yes, Mississippi," the receptionist agreed with Lu Qianqian, because the martial arts club belonged to the Lu family. On the other hand, Sun Suyun and her family finally felt that they had nothing after leaving the Shen family. With Shen Qianqian's current status, although they were not poor, their life was totally different from when they were in the Shen family. They did not save much money in the past because of their extravagant spending. Now when they needed to use their money, they realized that their pockets were empty. Shen Ruai had changed from the eldest daughter of the Shen family to the daughter of an ordinary family. She did not have a good life anymore. It would not be easy for her to go abroad anymore. Shen Ruai was not satisfied when she thought about it. She must find a rich husband, so that everyone in the Shen family would look at her differently. Stop daydreaming. With our current status, how could the young masters of those clans still take a liking to you? Unless you want to be their mistress. Sun Suyun's words had awakened Shen Ruai. She was right. As a mistress, she could do whatever she wanted with the help of those men. She was still so young. She couldn't lift her hands or carry a load. She needed a man to dote on her. Of course, Shen Laosen and Sun Suyun did not know what their daughter was thinking. They did not know that she had gone crazy from wanting to take revenge on Mu Qiqi. In fact, Mu Qiqi was distracted in school for the whole day. Grandpa Shen had invited Xiao Xiao for tea. She did not know what Xiao Xiao was planning. She also did not know what Grandpa Shen had discovered. She wished that she could grow to 20 years old in one night. That way, she could share Xiao Xiao's burden and not let him carry everything. It was obvious that she was the one who had expressed her love first. But now, it seemed that Xiao Xiao was the one who had to deal with it, be it hiding it or making it public. She hated herself for being like this. Her lover was her own, but when faced with the obstruction of the outside world, she was powerless. Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianqian because she needed someone to support her. Lu Qianqian did not know what to do after hearing about her predicament. Qiqi, you see my situation now. I'm being mocked by others. If I were you, I would not be willing to make it public. Although I know that you are brave, you should know that gossip is a fearful thing. You might drown in their saliva. Listen to me. Leave everything to the crown prince. Don't be the one who makes it public. Mu Qiqi did not answer Lu Qianqian after listening to her. But there was a clear voice in her heart reminding her that she had made her choice. No matter how difficult it was, she should overcome it. So what was she worried about? With such courage, Mu Qiqi hung up the phone in a hurry. She let go of the burden in her heart. No matter what happened, she was prepared to face it together with Sheng Xiao. If that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? That night, Sheng Xiao could feel that Mu Qiqi was in a good mood. So, he purposely pressed her on the desk when she was writing her report. Seeing that you are so happy, I can't help but want some dessert. There's some in the fridge. I'll get it for you. You're my dessert. With that, Sheng Xiao pushed her blouse up and smiled playfully. Mu Qiqi was stunned. Then she struggled. Xiao Xiao, I haven't written my report yet. Why do you need to write a report when you have me? With that, Sheng Xiao threw Mu Qiqi's report in the middle of the study. Then, he took off his shirt and pressed her down. Mu Qiqi wanted to say something, but her mouth was sealed by his kiss. She did not have the chance to speak. They kissed passionately. Then they began to make love in the study. At the critical moment, Sheng Xiao stopped. He deliberately hooked Mu Qiqi's chin and asked, "Do you still want me to stop?" Mu Qiqi took the chance and bit his shoulder. "You are the worst. You are teasing me. Do you want it?" "No." Mu Qiqi hugged his neck and answered embarrassedly. Sheng Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up, but the two of them were joined together. Step by step, he brought the little one back to the bedroom. Because tonight, the little one would not have any freedom. The moment Mu Qiqi was put on the big bed, a thought flashed through her mind. It's over. I will definitely fail my subjects after the semester ends. Who asked her to resist the temptation of Sheng Xiao's charming body? But the next morning, when she woke up, she saw the report Sheng Xiao had written for her on the bedside table. Go to school by yourself. I am going to the Shen family. Mu Qiqi looked at the report Sheng Xiao had written. She could not help but mutter. Was there anything this man could not do? A man who graduated from science and engineering was even more professional than a medical student like her. But when she thought about Sheng Xiao going to the Shen family, she could not help but feel nervous. She did not know what Grandpa would say to this man. Early in the morning, Grandpa Shen had prepared the best tea in the Shen family's fish pond. He had also put the fishing rod in place. He was waiting for Sheng Xiao to come and answer the questions in his heart. Sheng Xiao arrived at the Shen family at 8 o'clock sharp. He walked past the Shun family's side courtyard and went straight to the place where Grandpa Shun was resting. He sat down on the chair he had prepared for him. Grandpa Shun poured a cup of tea for Sheng Xiao and put it in front of him. It's rare that you can take the time to meet me, the Crown Prince of Huangyao. Chapter 239. Who owned the villa near Shengting University before it was transferred to Lu Wenhua? Grandpa Shun went straight to the point and asked Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao finished his tea and put down the teacup. He stopped smiling and answered Grandpa Shun directly. It's mine. Did you already know that third brother and his family wanted to frame Chi-Chi? Yes, I did. Sheng Xiao answered honestly. Chi-Chi moved into that villa a long time ago. Can you tell me the exact time? August. Grandpa Shun's hands started to tremble. He realized that Sheng Xiao did not come here just to brush him off. He answered every question very seriously. Then did you also? That is my and Chier's home. Sheng Xiao answered the question that Grandpa Shun wanted to ask the most. Grandpa Shun dropped the teacup on the floor when he heard that. He put his hands on the table and closed his eyes tightly. Xiao Qi and I were together before her identity was exposed. What else do you want to ask? Grandpa Shun did not ask anything. He flipped the table. It was so loud that the servants of the Shun family and Shun Lin were alerted. You are her uncle. You are one generation older than her. She is only 18 years old. How could you just... Sheng Xiao, I've always thought that you're the one with the most sense of propriety. You look unruly on the surface, but you would never do such a thing. But now, I'm really disappointed. Aren't you ruining Chi-Chi's reputation by being together with her? Do you want her to be laughed at like Lu Qianqian? Grandpa Shun was very agitated, but Sheng Xiao was very calm. Even though he could not drink the tea anymore, he still answered Grandpa Shun clearly. I want to marry her. You. What do you have to marry her? Will the Sheng family acknowledge her identity? You know very well what I have to marry Chi-Chi. I have never thought of hiding it from anyone. It's just that Chi-Chi did not want to make it public. That's why I did not tell anyone about it. It's not because I am afraid of the Sheng family or the Shun family. Old Shen, you should know very well that no one can stop me from doing what I want to do. I can't accept it. How can I accept it? Grandpa Shun kept shaking his head. When I entered the house 2 nights ago, although there was nothing of yours, I could feel that Chi-Chi was not the only one living in that house. I became suspicious, so I went to investigate the house and found out that it had just been transferred. I should have known. I should have admitted it long ago. But the more afraid I am, the more you will deal me a fatal blow. 8th brother, I can't face you in the future. Grandpa Shun looked at Sheng Xiao's red eyes. He was not just angry. He felt humiliated and broke down. His 2 granddaughters. 2 of them. It doesn't matter. Chi or I'll still marry her. Grandpa Shun was ashamed and angry. But when Sheng Xiao left, the Shun family was in an uproar, especially Huang Yu. When she found out about this, she was so shocked that she could not recover from it for a long time. Therefore, since Grandpa Shun entered the study room and announced that he would not see anyone, Huang Yu pestered Shun Lin and asked, What else did you hear? Uncle Sheng said that he wants to marry Chi-Chi. Oh my god, Mu Chi-Chi is too daring. Huang Yu covered her mouth. But as far as I know, they were together before Chi-Chi's identity was exposed. Shun Lin said to Huang Yu. So they might not have thought that such a situation would happen. They kept it a secret until now, because they were afraid that Grandpa would be sad. I know Chi-Chi's temper. If she had a better way, she would not do this. But she is only 18 years old, and she is already married to Sheng Xiao. Moreover, she is from the Sheng family. Moreover, they are from the same generation. Do you think it's strange that your grandpa would agree to it so easily? Wang Yu sighed. I think so too. I'm afraid that Grandpa will never be able to accept it. Sun Suyun's family must have never thought that Sheng Xiao is Xiao Qi's. Shen Ruai has been thinking about it for a long time. Huang Yu glanced at Grandpa Shun's room. Then she told Shun Lin, You should take care of your grandpa these few days. Don't let him be angry. As for the rest, we can't help Chi-Chi. I know, Mom. Chi-Chi has really planted a super bomb in the Shen family. But you don't object to it, don't you? Shun Lin did not hear that Huang Yu was blaming Mu Chi-Chi from her tone. Why should I object to it? Shen Ruai is delusional. But Qiqi and Sheng Xiao are in love with each other. How can it be the same? Moreover, although they are not the same generation, they are not related by blood. Other than your grandpa, who else in the family would really care about the generation? Most importantly, I understand Qiqi. When she was at her wit's end, it was Sheng Xiao who held her back. I'm not surprised that she likes Sheng Xiao because of this relationship. Otherwise, why would she tattoo his name on her ear? Shenlin nodded. When it came to love, wasn't it all about being willing to do anything? He treated Yu Jing like that in the past. Now wasn't Mu Qiqi the same as him? Soon, Mu Qiqi found out from Sheng Xiao that Grandpa Shen had exposed their relationship. So she was restless. She called Huang Yu immediately. Your grandpa locked himself in the study for the whole day. He did not eat or drink. It seems that he is really angry. No one in the Shen family dares to persuade him. You know your grandpa's temper. Xiaoqi, this matter has really blown your grandpa's mind. He loves you so much and trusts you. He must be very sad now. But second aunt doesn't think that you did anything wrong. Who can say who is right or wrong in this kind of thing? Thank you, second aunt. I'll come and see grandpa later, said Mu Qiqi to Huang Yu. Okay, but you must be prepared. Grandpa might not let you go so easily. He might even force you to make a decision. I know. The matter had been exposed. What good would it do to say more? She was not afraid. She was just worried about Grandpa's health. That was all. So, during the lunch break, Mu Qiqi went to the hospital to visit Shen Jianchuan. When Shen Jianchuan saw her, he could guess what happened. Did Grandpa find out? Mu Qiqi nodded. Yes. Chapter 240. How could she not care? If it's the Mu family, I really don't care. But I care about you and Grandpa. Mu Qiqi held Shen Jianchuan's hand and said, But Dad, I can't lose Xiao Xiao no matter what. He is my life. Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red when she said that. Maybe you think that I'm exaggerating. I'm just an 18-year-old kid. She said that because she's young and naive. However, I know better than any of you what kind of place he holds in my heart. Even if I'm struck by lightning in the future, I will accept it. Dad will always be on your side. Xiaoqi, be brave. Shen Jianchuan held Mu Qiqi's hand. It was the only thing he could do for Mu Qiqi. That was to cheer for her. When Mu Qiqi left, he asked the nurse who was standing beside him. Can I leave the hospital? How can you leave the hospital? What if it's just for a while? The nurse thought for a while and said, I'll think of a way for you. Because he knew Grandpa Shen's temper very well. Mu Qiqi would definitely be wronged. So it was time for him to perform as a father. Mu Qiqi did not tell Sheng Xiao that she was going to the Shen family. But, according to Sheng Xiao's understanding of her, she drove straight to the Shen family after she left Huang Yao. At that moment, Mu Qiqi was kneeling outside Grandpa Shen's study. Huang Yu and the others stood aside helplessly. After a while, Grandpa Shen finally opened the door. He looked at Mu Qiqi coldly and said, Follow me. They arrived at the ancestral hall of the Shen family one after another. Mu Qiqi only knew that there was an ancestral hall in the Shen family. Tell me in front of all the ancestors. Did you and Sheng Xiao lie to me from the beginning? Grandpa, apart from my relationship with Xiao Xiao, we didn't lie to you about anything. Grandpa Shen took out the wooden stick that he used to hit Shen Ruai the other day. He pointed it at Mu Qiqi. Do you know how proud I am to see you? I love you so much. I want to give you the whole Shen family. But what about you? Not only did you live with a man at the age of 18, he's also a member of the Sheng family. He's your uncle. How am I supposed to accept this, girl? Since you've come back today, and you're here in front of all the ancestors, tell me, do you want Sheng Xiao or me, your grandfather? I really can't live with Sheng Xiao awkwardly anymore. I've let the Sheng family down. So give me an answer. Give me a choice. Do you want Sheng Xiao or grandfather? Tell me. If you choose grandpa, then cut off all ties with Sheng Xiao. From now on, we will never mention this matter again. I will pretend that nothing happened. But if you choose Sheng Xiao, then the Shen family will pretend that you never appeared. I will pretend that I don't have a granddaughter like you. Mu Qiqi looked at Grandpa Shen with a firm and unquestionable gaze. I choose Sheng Xiao. Hearing this, Grandpa Shen was shocked and hit her with a stick. You don't even think about it? Do you really want to marry into the Sheng family that much? Mu Qiqi was secretly hurt, but she did not change her answer. I choose Sheng Xiao. Grandpa, I can do anything for you, except leaving Sheng Xiao. If you still care about your granddaughter's life, don't force me to choose. Because Sheng Xiao is my life. You don't know how much a desperate girl loves and appreciates that person when she's saved. He saved my life. He gave me my life. Everything I have, including the fact that I can kneel here now, is because I have Sheng Xiao. He's very important to me. He's more important than myself. Grandpa Shen hit Mu Qiqi again when he heard this. He was anxious. You're so stubborn. Grandpa, this is it. I'll follow Sheng Xiao for the rest of my life. Whether you agree or not, this is my answer. My saliva can drown you. I'm not afraid of anything. Mu Qiqi replied with tears in her eyes. If that's the case, you must be like Shen Ruai. Get out of the Shen family. The further the better. I'll pretend that I don't have you as my granddaughter. Even if you're attacked by the Sheng family in the future, I won't acknowledge you as my granddaughter. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she kowtowed to Grandpa Shen 3 times. Grandpa, please take care of yourself. Grandpa Shen did not expect that Mu Qiqi would make such a decision without any hesitation. He felt sad and angry at the same time. Mu Qiqi was already a part of the Shen family. How could he get rid of her? If this matter were to spread, and the Sheng family came looking for Mu Qiqi, would he be able to deny it? How could he say that Mu Qiqi was not a member of the Shen family? Who would believe that? But it was worse than death for him to accept it. My Qiqi. Mu Qiqi's steps were firm. She had to do it without any hesitation. She must give Grandpa Shen the most accurate answer about Sheng Xiao. She would not compromise at all. She could do anything for Grandpa Shen, but she would not give in to Sheng Xiao. Qiqi. Huang Yu quickly helped her when she saw her. Are you all right? Grandpa, please take care of me. Mu Qiqi said to Huang Yu. Just take it that I'm not filial. After that, Mu Qiqi was about to walk out of the Shen family, but Grandpa Shen shouted at her from behind. Come back, you wicked girl. I'll give you time to break up with Sheng Xiao slowly. I won't force you. Grandpa, you're forcing me. Mu Qiqi turned around and said to Grandpa Shen. Because I won't break up with him. I've already given in. What else do you want me to do? Obviously, Grandpa Shen did not want to lose his granddaughter. But he could not accept the fact that his nephew had become his grandson-in-law. At the same time, Sheng Zhao's car had entered the Shen family's courtyard. He saw Mu Qiqi and the others at the entrance of the living room. He went straight to them. His face darkened when he saw Mu Qiqi holding her shoulder. Did you get beaten? Mu Qiqi shook her head. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. Then, he looked up at Grandpa Shen and said, Uncle Shen, I've been raising her since she was 17 to 19. I have custody of her too. I want her to be my wife. None of you can stop me. Xiao Xiao. Lawless. Grandpa Sheng snorted coldly at Sheng Xiao after hearing that. Chapter 241. Grandpa Shen did not say anything. At that moment, a white car drove into the parking lot of the Shen family. Everyone looked at it and realized that it was a nurse who accompanied Shen Jianchuan back to the Shen family. Grandpa Shen's hands began to tremble when he saw it. Why are you back? I'm afraid that you'll make things difficult for Xiaoqi, Shen Jianchuan replied. Even you. Father, you could accept me when I was so rebellious back then. Can't you accept my daughter now? Shen Jianchuan asked Grandpa Shen. Don't you think that Mu Qiqi is very similar to me because of her? You're a man and she's a girl. Do you know what people will say about her when she's only 18? Whether she can marry into the Sheng family or not. Her reputation will not be good in the future. Grandpa Shen pointed at Mu Qiqi and said loudly, Am I doing it for myself? I'm already half buried in the ground. Why should I care about that? I just don't want her life to be as rough as yours. Grandpa Shen's eyes turned red as he said that. Father, you know how capable Sheng Xiao is. He saved Mu Qiqi and raised her. Now he wants to marry Mu Qiqi. He has already given his all to your granddaughter. Other than him, no one else can take care of your granddaughter so well and spoil her to the point that she is out of control. Reputation is nothing. We live our lives for ourselves. Who will remember who is who after 100 years? Shen Jianchuan held Grandpa Shen's hand and said, "You just spoil them. Since it's happened, they have to accept it. Now they love each other so much that they won't break up even if you talk to them, until your saliva dries up. Do you still remember me back then? If they're really not fated, they'll break up sooner or later. When that time comes, even if Mu Qiqi's reputation is bad, she can bear it herself. She's an adult. As for the Shen family, I'm innocent. Grandpa Shen has lived his life with integrity," Grandpa Shen said disdainfully. Hearing this, Shen Jianchuan smiled. "If that's the case, why are you still stopping the children? An uncle and a niece." When Grandpa Shen thought of those two titles, he felt extremely uncomfortable. He could not accept it no matter what. But he was also afraid of losing Mu Qiqi and Shen Jianchuan. It was because of him that Shen Jianchuan was framed by Rong Junhan and was bedridden for half of his life. Now, could he still hurt his granddaughter? At most, I will pretend that nothing happened. Don't show your relationship in front of me. No matter what happens in the future, you will bear the consequences yourself. With that, the old man turned around and returned to his room. No matter what, he could not swallow this grievance. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi walked to Shen Jianchuan and squatted beside him. "Why did you come out of the hospital?" "Because your grandfather listens to me the most," Shen Jianchuan said to his daughter. Mu Qiqi giggled, but there were tears in her eyes. "Daddy, silly daughter, you have had a hard life since you were young. I have never taken care of you. Now no matter what happiness you want, I will help you get it. Leave your grandfather to me. You go to Sheng Xiao's place." Sheng Xiao looked at the father and daughter. Then, he walked to Shen Jianchuan and said calmly, "I believe that I am still the person who treats Qi'er the best. It's easy to get past the Shen family. But what about the Sheng family?" Shen Jianchuan looked at Sheng Xiao meaningfully. "My daughter will not be bullied in the Shen family. But if she goes to the Sheng family and is humiliated and looked down upon, I will not let her stay with you no matter what. I accept your challenge. Let's see if she will be happy in the Shen family or the Sheng family." Shen Jianchuan did not say anything else. He wanted to give Mu Qiqi's hand to Sheng Xiao, but he could not do it. Sheng Xiao understood at once. He took Mu Qiqi's hand from Shen Jianchuan's hand. Let's go home. I will talk to your grandfather tonight. As for the Sheng family, you must give us an answer as soon as possible, Sheng Xiao. I cannot let my daughter follow you without knowing why." Sheng Xiao did not say anything, but his steps were firm, because he had taken his daughter away from Mu Qiqi's father. It was a promise between men. That night, everyone in the Shen family had complicated feelings. Although Grandpa Shen did not agree to it, he did not object either. After that, Shen Jianchuan followed Grandpa Shen into his study. Grandpa Shen was still sulking. He did not want to talk to his son. "It's been so many years since I entered your study." Hearing this, the old man couldn't get angry anymore. He sighed deeply. "Do you blame me?" Shen Jianchuan shook his head. "I don't blame you for what happened to me. But if you continue to stop Mu Qiqi from being with Sheng Xiao, I might blame you. They are not related by blood. Mu Qiqi is already an adult. Why can't she be with Sheng Xiao? Is my daughter trying to climb the social ladder just because she is with the strongest man? Why can't my daughter be with the crown prince? Sigh. How many men these days are devoted to one woman? Especially with Sheng Xiao's background. I'm afraid that he is just playing with Mu Qiqi. What will happen to Mu Qiqi then?" "What do you mean? Qiqi is also the daughter of the Shen family. When she was with Sheng Xiao, she also enjoyed a beautiful love. If they really break up one day, then Qiqi will still be a member of the Shen family. She is my daughter. Even if I am disabled, I can still let her live with dignity. Do you believe me?" That's right. Grandpa Shen was gradually convinced by his son. What else could he do now? Let's see what the Sheng family thinks. Do we even need to think about it? Shen Jianchuan said. He knew that the Sheng family would not agree even if he tried to guess with his toes. But it was not something they could handle. Whether Sheng Xiao was sincere to Mu Qiqi or not depended on what he did. With Sheng Xiao's ability, as long as he is sincere, Mu Qiqi will not be bullied no matter where she is. The Sheng family is not to be trifled with. Grandpa Shen snorted. Moreover, How many people are there in the Sheng family? There are so many people eyeing the position of the crown prince's wife. How can they let Xiaoqi have it? Isn't your granddaughter a little smart? At that moment, Sheng Xiao was bringing Mu Qiqi home. On the way, Mu Qiqi was shocked by what Sheng Xiao said. Marriage? Are you serious? Why? You don't want to marry me? Sheng Xiao smiled. His eyes were filled with love for his little one. I am not old enough to register. Chapter 242. But, Xiao, I'm not prepared at all. Mu Qiqi panicked. We weren't mentally prepared when your grandfather found out. Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi and smiled. Why? Are you scared? I'm scared. I'm scared that you would fall out with your family. They would fall out no matter who my wife is. It doesn't make a difference. With that, Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi to the villa that Mama Sheng had prepared for him. Jing Yin was startled by what he did. Young master, let's sleep here tonight, Sheng Xiao said to Jing Yin, tugging at Mu Qiqi's hand. Mu Qiqi could tell that Jing Yin was worried and quickly said, There's nothing for me here, and Jing Yin needs to rest. Why don't we go home? Come into my room to take a shower and put on my clothes. Sheng Xiao pushed her into his room. But Xiao. Before Mu Qiqi could finish, Sheng Xiao had already closed the door for her. Jing Yin could guess most of it at that. Young master, are you going to go public? But Miss Mu Qiqi is not even 19. Are the odds good? It's precisely because the odds are not good that I need you and the Shen family to work together, Sheng Xiao said to him. From today onwards, you can go back to your own home. While you're at it, help me do something important. Yes, young master. Tell my mother that you saw Qi in the villa. Jing Yun's eyes widened at that. Are you going to be so direct? Do as I say, and spread the story that I went to the Shen family to cause trouble, saying that I snatched Qi from the old man. And he was so angry that he was almost hospitalized. Jing Yun nodded at his orders. I understand. I'll do it right away. Sheng Xiao was putting everything on his shoulders, so that the Sheng family would think that Mu Qiqi was forced by him, and the Shen family was forced by his tyranny. It was only then that the Sheng family would not pay attention to Xiao Qi. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was taking a shower in her room. She needed to calm down too. Although she had already decided on Sheng Xiao, she was afraid that what would happen next would reach a point she could not bear. She was afraid that she would hurt Sheng Xiao and the Sheng family. After a while, Sheng Xiao returned to the bedroom and entered the bathroom. He saw Mu Qiqi standing under the shower in a daze. He grabbed her neck and pulled her in front of him. From today onwards, cooperate with me and act. What? I want Xiaoqi, to be my rightful wife. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed her. She could not resist him at all. Very soon, the bathroom was filled with obscene sounds. However, their entwined bodies were obscured by the dense mist. In their passion, Sheng Xiao held her slender waist and told her over and over again, I want you, I only want you. Mu Qiqi was driven by her own desires. How could she not be wholeheartedly devoted to Sheng Xiao? Since Sheng Xiao had said such words, what reason did she have not to support her man and drag him down with her negative emotions? I just want to be with you forever. Soon, Mu Qiqi fell asleep out of exhaustion, just as the sound of a car parking came from downstairs. Sheng Xiao covered Mu Qiqi with a blanket and went downstairs, because he knew that his mother was coming for him. Mama Sheng rushed to the villa. She knew what he had done when she saw Sheng Xiao's bare upper body and the scratches from his nails. She did not notice the tattoo on Sheng Xiao's body. She was just shocked to see him like that. This was the first time she, as a mother, saw her son's needs in this area. Jing Yin told me. It's all true. Sheng Xiao went downstairs and poured his mother a glass of wine. Where's Xiaoqi? I'm sleeping in my room. Sheng Xiao answered directly. Mama Sheng could not take it anymore. She went up to Sheng Xiao and gave him a slap. Do you know what you are doing? You have Mu Qiqi. She is only 19 years old. She is old Shen's precious granddaughter. How can you go to the Shen family and make a scene? How can I face the Shen family in the future? Sheng Xiao was not angry because of the slap. He smiled. There was a hint of a devil in his smile. Mom, don't you always know what I am like? I can get whatever I want and whoever I want. I never ask if they are willing or not. Since Xiaoqi is grateful to me, why can't she be my woman? Mama Sheng was very angry. What did you do to Xiaoqi? What can I do? Isn't it just a matter between a man and a woman? She is still so young. She is an adult now. Sheng Xiao emphasized. I could have kept it a secret, but Uncle Shen found out about it. I can't let Xiaoqi run away, so I could only go to the Shen family and make a scene. Mama Sheng did not know what to do with her son. She took a deep breath. Can't you use proper means to pursue someone you like? Must you be so despicable? I like her. Do I have the right to like someone else in the Sheng family? I do like Qi'er, but will you let me marry her? If that's the case, I might as well use force. Mom, instead of standing here, why don't you think about how to make it up to the Shen family? Anyway, I have done what I did. Mama Sheng was frightened by her son. Although Sheng Xiao had shown his devilish side in the past few years, he had never treated people like he did now. Sure enough, it was a fool's dream to let him live a normal life. I'll go up and see Muqiqi. Go ahead. Sheng Xiao pointed at the second floor. But Mom, Qi'er is mine. If you have any ideas about her, I will announce to the world that I have taken the girl I adopted as my own. Mama Sheng could not say anything. She went upstairs and gently opened the door. She had mixed feelings when she saw Muqiqi sleeping in the bedroom, especially when she saw the marks on Muqiqi's body. She was such a good girl, but her son treated her like that. Mama Sheng did not say anything at that thought, but before she left she said to Sheng Xiao, you have to take responsibility for this. Muqiqi cannot be toyed with by you. How do you want me to take responsibility? Marry her? Will Dad agree? Dream on. You don't have to worry about that. But you have to take good care of Muqiqi. Only then can I answer to the Shen family. Of course I will take good care of her. But Mom, are you sure you can convince Dad and Grandpa? In their eyes, I am just toying with a woman. Chapter 243. Mama Sheng left the villa quickly. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that her son was a complete demon. Sheng Xiao knew that his mother had successfully misunderstood him. So, he returned to the bedroom and held Xiaoqi in his arms. Then he kissed her forehead gently. I must love you so much that I went crazy. That's why I did that. Muqiqi was sleeping. She did not know that she was already a daughter-in-law in Mama Sheng's heart. She did not care if she was 18 or 19 years old. She was born in the Mu family. She was really afraid of her son now. So, Mama Sheng quickly returned home and told her husband about it. It's all because of the Sheng family's bias. That brat doesn't walk the path of a normal person at all. Now he has bullied a child of the Shen family. Who else would want to marry him in the future? The Shen family did not cause trouble today, because they are friends with the Sheng family for many years. But we can't pretend that it never happened. She is just a woman. Why are you making such a fuss? Papa Sheng glared at his wife. Don't you know your son? The more outrageous the thing is, the more he would do it. Do you still want him to be a normal person? What else can I do? How old is the child? Papa Sheng suddenly asked Mama Sheng. 19 soon. Then let's arrange for them to get engaged. We'll talk about the future later. This way, whatever Sheng Xiao wants to do will be justified. And the Shen family will have an explanation. Papa Sheng told Mama Sheng why he was so generous. First, it was because the Shen family was a famous family. Their granddaughter was taken away by Sheng Xiao. Of course, the Shen family would not let it go. Secondly, Papa Sheng did not think that Sheng Xiao's love for Muqiqi would last long. The engagement was just a temporary measure. When the young man got tired of it, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. And he knew his son very well. He would never stay by someone's side until he was old. When that happens, the Shen family could not say anything even if they were fated to be together. So he proposed to let Sheng Xiao and Muqiqi get engaged. Old Shen hates seniority the most. According to seniority, Sheng Xiao is Qiqi's uncle. I still need to spend some time to convince the old man. I'll explain it to Dad. But to the public, just tell them that I'm engaged to the daughter of the Shen family. We can't expose their adoptive relationship. I knew this bastard wouldn't do anything good. After listening to her husband, Mama Sheng sighed. I really like Muqiqi. I'll treat her better when they get engaged. I really don't know how sad Mu Qiqi was when she was bullied by Sheng Xiao. Mama Sheng sighed. That was why Jing Yin received news the next morning that the CEO and Madam had informed the chairman of the Sheng family about it. And when the chairman learned about it, he immediately ordered Sheng Xiao to get engaged to the daughter of the Shen family as soon as possible, although he had never seen this granddaughter-in-law before. Even so, what Sheng Xiao did was so out of line that the Shen family dared to cause trouble. She even went to fight with Grandpa Shen for him. If the Sheng family did not say anything, their relationship with the Shen family would be over. Moreover, Papa Sheng told Grandpa Sheng that the girl was still young. When she grew up and Sheng Xiao was no longer obsessed with her, they could just separate. It was just an engagement. It would not involve her becoming a member of the Sheng family. So Grandpa Sheng agreed to it. He could not let the ugly things that his grandson had done spread like wildfire. Now he had to find a name for him. So, Mama Sheng came to the Shen family with a gift in the morning. Grandpa Shen thought that he could not face the Sheng family at first. But when Mama Sheng spoke, he was shocked. Old Shen, it's the Sheng family that let you down. What do you mean? That brat of mine took Mu Qiqi by force, and even caused a ruckus in the Shen family. He really put the Sheng family to shame. So, my father immediately asked me to come here, to propose marriage to you. Let the two children get engaged. When Mu Qiqi is 7 years old, let them get married. Mama Sheng said to Grandpa Shen embarrassedly. Grandpa Shen glanced at Huang Yu subconsciously after he heard what she said. What did Sheng Xiao do? But there is a gap in seniority between them. Old Shen, can you put aside your seniority now? I know you're not happy about it, but since it's already happened, we can only accept it. I feel sorry for Qiqi. Since it's fate between the two of them, let's see if you can fulfill it. Grandpa Shen was surprised. Why would the Sheng family come to propose marriage? At that moment, Shen Jianchuan was pushed out of the room by the nurse. He saw Mama Sheng. I don't agree to it. My daughter is the daughter of the Shen family. She is the daughter of the Shen family. If she is taken away by the Sheng family so easily, won't she be bullied by the Sheng family? Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan had come home. She could imagine how fierce Sheng Zhao's trouble was yesterday. She quickly answered, Don't worry. I will treat Qiqi like my own daughter after she joins the Sheng family. I'm curious. Why did the Sheng family come to propose marriage? It's fine if Sheng Xiao plays around with women, but it suits his status. I don't have to marry him. Young master, don't worry. Qiqi is the daughter of the Shen family. I will treat her the same way you treat her. You don't have to worry. Humph. Shen Jianchuan snorted coldly. He did not say anything else. If he did not make things difficult for the Sheng family, they might think that his daughter could not get married. So he was supporting Mu Qiqi. When Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan did not say anything, she looked at Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and waved his hand. I'll do as you say. I'm already so old. I really don't want to be burdened by young people who can control Sheng Xiao. That's right. It's good that you agree. The Sheng family will do this well. We will not let Qiqi suffer. Grandpa Shen did not say anything else. He felt that the Sheng family agreed to it too easily. It made him feel uneasy. So, after Mama Sheng left, he looked at his son. What happened? After Shen Jianchuan heard the question, he smiled. Eighth brother Sheng is really a surprise winner. What do you mean? Chapter 244. Then I shouldn't have agreed. Grandpa Shen snorted. Father, which one of the younger ones in the Sheng family managed to escape the fate of an arranged marriage? But if Sheng Xiao could get rid of his shackles and get engaged to Mu Qiqi, it means that he has a solution when it comes to marriage. I'm just afraid that Mu Qiqi would fall into the abyss when she marries the Sheng family. She wouldn't be able to handle it. Grandpa Shen was worried. I think it's interesting. Even if it doesn't work out, Mu Qiqi has the Shen family in us. Grandpa Shen nodded. Since the Sheng family was willing to let them get engaged, the future could be discussed later. What if Mu Qiqi was unwilling to marry Sheng Xiao? Things developed quickly. It was only one night. By the time Mu Qiqi woke up, her world had changed. She got dressed and went downstairs. She found Mama Sheng busy in the open kitchen. Mu Qiqi's face turned pale. But Mama Sheng smiled at her. Xiaoqi, you're awake? Pretty aunt. All the parents know about what happened between you and that little rascal. How could you do this to yourself and not tell anyone? In Mama Sheng's eyes, it was Sheng Xiao who forced Muqiqi. It was her son who let others down. Pretty aunt, it's not Xiao Zhao's business. Mother, I still need to go to work. Sheng Xiao, who was sitting in the living room, said to his mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Xiaoqi, take a seat. Breakfast will be ready soon. You can go to school after you eat. Muqiqi looked at Sheng Xiao in confusion, but Sheng Xiao hooked his finger at her. Do you think you're dreaming? What's going on? I've told you that I want you to be my little wife. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed Muqiqi's thin lips where Mama Sheng could not see. Muqiqi was startled. At the same time she was puzzled. But she did not ask. She waited until the three of them had breakfast. Then she heard some news from Mama Sheng and learned why this happened. However, she was very uncomfortable. So when Sheng Xiao sent her to school and they were alone, she asked him seriously, "Why did you do that? Why did everyone treat you like a demon? What's the difference?" Sheng Xiao asked her in return, "I'm such a person. I do whatever I want and I'm lawless. They're used to it. Xiao Xiao. Everything else is not important. The most important thing is that I want to marry you as soon as possible. But your family thinks you. I already bullied you. Haven't you been bullied enough by me? Wait to be my little bride." Sheng Xiao's words had a double meaning. Muqiqi blushed. "As long as I can marry you, I don't care what others think of me. Just wait to be my little bride." At that moment, Muqiqi couldn't say anything. Sheng Xiao spoiled her too much, which made her feel uneasy. "I won. Sheng Qiqi Sheng Xiao. T. Sheng Xiao I Sheng, single quote shout. Really? Mu Xiao was. Really? Mu Sheng asked. Xiao Xiao Sheng Kit. Mu Sheng. Xiao. Mu Mu Tian Ti Tian. After saying that, Sheng Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of Shengting University. "From now on, I can openly send you to school." Muqiqi kissed Sheng Xiao on the cheek when she arrived at the school gate. Then she got out of the car. But someone still saw who the man in the car was. Why does he look so familiar? Isn't he the crown prince of Huangyao? The crown prince is sending Muqiqi to school? Muqiqi thought that her life would be in a whirlpool in the future. But she loved Sheng Xiao. That was enough to overcome everything. The two of them were about to get engaged. She had never dreamed that she would marry Sheng Xiao one day. The news of their engagement soon spread throughout the Sheng family. Everyone in the Sheng family was shocked. They did not expect that Sheng Xiao would get engaged to an 18-year-old girl, because he had forced himself on her. And the girl was the daughter of the Shen family. But the Sheng family was not surprised after that. Actually, there were many such things in rich families. Many young masters of rich families got married because they were pregnant. Actually, it was just a matter of carelessness. Actually, the two of them didn't like each other that much. When the time was up, they would just divorce. The female would get a satisfactory breakup fee and find another person to marry. Everyone was happy. So in their opinion, Sheng Xiao was just careless and coveting Muqiqi's youth. When Muqiqi lost her advantage, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. So the Sheng family just wanted to watch the show. Only the two people involved knew how serious they were. Still, Sheng Xiao would not come out to explain himself. Otherwise, the marriage would not go through. Everyone in the Sheng family thought that he was just fooling around. But in fact, only he knew very well what Muqiqi's position was. So when Sheng Xiao's brothers and sisters abroad heard about it, they only called him to congratulate him. They did not care about his engagement ceremony with Muqiqi. Of course, he did not care about it. When you get married, second brother will come back to congratulate you. By the way, this little sister-in-law is so young. Sheng Xiao's eyes darkened. Because these people were looking down on Muqiqi. But he was not in a hurry to expose the little one's position in his heart. There would be more to see in the future. Only fourth sister called Sheng Xiao. "I'm still in Vienna. I'll be back in 2 days. You must attend Sheng Xiao's engagement ceremony. Fourth sister, bring back more gifts. Now you know how to ask for something for sister-in-law." "I know. Don't worry." The fourth sister of the Sheng family was also a legendary woman. Still, that would have to wait for another time. All of a sudden, the news that the crown prince of Huang Yao was about to get engaged was spreading in the circle. Everyone was in an uproar, especially since his bride was only 18 years old. It was very interesting to talk about it. Mu Qiqi was the daughter of the Shen family. There was nothing wrong with her background. But when it came to her birth, it became a hot topic. Even so, outsiders did not find it strange that Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi were a match. After all, Sheng Xiao was like a demon. Outsiders would be puzzled if he married an innocent young lady from a well-matched family. In this way, this young couple could be considered to be birds of a feather? Chapter 245. Not only the nobles received the news, but third brother's family also received the news. Third brother was shocked when he received the news. He could not believe that such a thing would happen after he left the Shen family for a few days. If Shen Ruoi knew about it, she would go crazy. That was right. Shen Ruoi had gone crazy. Why could Mu Qiqi do it but not Shen Ruoi? Because when she thought of how Mama Sheng had humiliated her and mocked her in the Shen family, she did not expect that she would accept Mu Qiqi in the next moment. It was a huge joke. Are the Sheng family crazy? How could they allow Sheng Xiao to get engaged to a bastard? Aren't they afraid of being laughed at? Sun Xian scolded. Why would Sheng Xiao be afraid of being laughed at? He is just a man who plays with women. I will wait and see how happy Mu Qiqi will be after she gets engaged to this man. I will wait and hear the siren of the ambulance. I will send her to the hospital, and she will never be able to come out. Mom, I am the real daughter of the Shen family. But I lost to a bastard. I feel terrible just thinking about it. Sun Xian could not accept it. But Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi were getting engaged. No one could change it. Heh, I will make the Sheng family regret it. Shen Ruoi's eyes were red. Her eyes were filled with hatred. She hated Mu Qiqi, Sheng Xiao, the Sheng family and the Shen family. At that moment, she felt that the whole world was her enemy. At that moment, she made up her mind. It was because she had used her special channel to know that the eldest son of the Sheng family liked to have lovers outside. Wasn't it because of God? Just wait and see Mu Qiqi. In fact, the news had spread like wildfire. Mu Qiqi felt helpless, because she could no longer keep a low profile. However, no matter how much she was criticized at school, she forgot all her worries in an instant when she saw Sheng Xiao's car parked outside the school gates. Because she could enjoy Sheng Xiao's love now. She could not care less about what the others said. Sheng Xiao was leaning against the car and waiting. When Mu Qiqi came to his side, he put his arm around her neck and kissed her red lips in front of everyone. The crowd gasped, but Sheng Xiao simply shielded Mu Qiqi and said to the people around them, "Let's meet my fiancé." His smile made the people around him feel a sense of danger, so they took a few steps back. This man was handsome and outstanding. He was like a diamond that was hard to come by in the world. However, his level of danger was at the same level as his excellence. How much courage would it take to be with such a man? To get used to his trickery and mischief? At that thought, the onlookers began to admire Mu Qiqi's courage. But only Mu Qiqi knew that behind his back, he was a normal and warm man. "Let's go." Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and let her get into the car. Soon, their car arrived at the entrance of Shengting University and left. However, the discussions behind him were still incessant. Mu Qiqi must be a god to be able to be with the crown prince. That's right. Ordinary people would not even dare to breathe loudly when they are with the crown prince. They would be scared out of their wits. In terms of reputation, the two of them are surprisingly compatible. On the way back, Mu Qiqi saw that the entrance of the university had never been so crowded. She could not help but ask Sheng Xiao, "Are you coming to pick me up every day? Are you not willing?" Sheng Xiao tilted his head and looked at his little one. "It's just too high profile." Mu Qiqi scratched her head. "I'm not used to it." "Get used to it. Also, let's go to the Shen family for dinner tonight. My mother is there to discuss the engagement date with your grandfather." Mu Qiqi felt that it was unreal. She pinched her face to prove that she was not dreaming. The thing that she did not dare to think about before had become real. She was really afraid that it was all just her imagination. Although we are engaged, No one in the Sheng family acknowledges our relationship. It's because they think that I'm just fooling around. They don't take you seriously. Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi the truth while driving. So, they might not acknowledge your identity in the future. They might even make things difficult for you and humiliate you. And our engagement is not a complete victory. I just want you to stand by my side openly. But there is still a long way to go. Mu Qiqi felt more at ease after listening to him. She was already feeling uneasy because of the quick engagement. But now that she knew the truth, she was not afraid anymore. Thank you, Xiao Xiao, for not lying to me. Although they don't take you seriously, I take you seriously. No matter who they are, no matter what they want to do, they will have to get through me before they bully you. This is my promise to you. Sheng Xiao never made promises to anyone. It was because he had to keep his promise when he said it. But at this moment, he made a promise to the little one who was the most important to him. As my fiancé, if you are still bullied, it means that I'm useless. I'm marrying you because I love you. I love you, little one. Mu Qiqi jumped into Sheng Xiao's arms when she heard the word love. Sheng Xiao could only stop the car to comfort the little one who was overjoyed. Was there any doubt that Sheng Xiao loved her? Her family background was not good. She did not have much ability. She was just a university student. Moreover, she was studying in such an unlikable major. If it was not because of love, she really could not think of any other good points in her. After a while, the car was finally restarted. The two of them quickly returned to the Shen family. Grandpa Shen snorted when he saw Sheng Xiao's expression. He did not look happy. But Mama Sheng was very happy, because before they came back, they had already decided on the date of their engagement. The 3rd of next month will be a big day. Qiqi, let's hold the engagement ceremony on that day. Is that okay? Mu Qiqi suddenly raised her head. She looked at Mama Sheng and then at Sheng Xiao. It's up to you. But Sheng Xiao suddenly said, it's too slow. There are less than 20 days left. I said it's too slow, Sheng Xiao repeated coldly. I think next week is not bad. Chapter 246. I won't let her be wronged. She is already wronged being with you. When Grandpa Shen thought of their seniority, he still felt uncomfortable. She's only 18 years old. Which 18-year-old girl is going to get engaged and get married? She is basically betting her whole life on you. Mama Sheng felt bad when she heard that, because she felt that the Sheng family had wronged Mu Qiqi even more. Sheng Xiao was a devil. He might like her today, but he might change his taste tomorrow. What would happen to Mu Qiqi then? She knew very well what Grandpa Sheng and her husband were thinking. They both thought that it was just a girl, and it was not a big deal to get engaged. It was not a marriage, so they did not care who Sheng Xiao was engaged to. But when it came to marriage, it would be a different story. So they did not care about Mu Qiqi at all. Mama Sheng could not help feeling sad when she thought about that. The most beautiful years of a girl's life had been ruined by her own devil son. Don't worry, Grandpa Shen. No matter when it is, the Sheng family will give Mu Qiqi the grandest ceremony. We will not mistreat her. Sheng Xiao knew that his mother wanted to make it up to Mu Qiqi, but he did not say it out. Anyway, he wanted the whole world to feel sorry for Mu Qiqi. Xiao Qi, let me be frank. If the Sheng family does not treat you well one day, you don't have to endure it. Come back to the Shen family. Dad and Grandpa can help you. I know, Grandpa. Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red, because she knew that it was difficult for her grandfather to accept her relationship with Sheng Xiao. Now she had to put on an act for him. As a grandchild, she was really unfilial. If that's the case, I will let the Sheng family arrange the engagement. Mama Sheng smiled. Then, she grabbed Mu Qiqi's hand in front of Grandpa Shen. It must be hard for you to follow my son. Mu Qiqi turned to look at Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao only smiled. Mu Qiqi said nothing. She just held Mama Sheng's hand. I'll get the best designer in the world to design an engagement dress for Qiqi. From today onwards, she's half my daughter. Mama Sheng was very thorough in her work. So the Shen family was not dissatisfied with her. Even when Shen Jianchuan was in the hospital, she went there specially to reassure him. Shen Jianchuan was undergoing rehabilitation. Now he could speak freely. After hearing Mama Sheng's words, he smiled. To be honest, We know very well what the Sheng family is like. But my daughter went to the Sheng family. This is her choice. As her father, I can't stop her. I want her freedom. Mama Sheng smiled. If the Sheng family bullies Xiaoqi one day, you don't have to doubt that I, as her father, would have no choice but to fall out with the Sheng family, no matter what the old man does. The marriage between two big families, and Xiaoqi is only 18 years old. These topics are enough to stir up the whole of Jianchuan. I only hope that the Sheng family can give her a sincere engagement ceremony. Mama Sheng knew Shen Jianchuan very well, so she told him honestly, I can't control others, but I can promise that I will not be biased toward Xiaoqi, just like Sheng Xiao. As long as Qiqi is in the Sheng family, I will stand by her side and do my best to protect her. According to seniority, I should call you aunt. But Xiaoqin, we have known each other for many years. I trust you. My only daughter is in your hands. Don't worry. Mama Sheng nodded. After leaving the Shen family, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the small mansion to meet Suzy Pei. Suzy Pei had not seen Mu Qiqi since she knew that they were going to be engaged. Now that she saw her, she hugged Mu Qiqi and cried. I never thought that this day would come so soon. Qiqi, you are only 18 years old. I never thought that you would marry into the Sheng family at 18 years old. Aunt, don't be like this. In the future, I won't be able to help you with your life. I just want to tell you that in my heart, you will always be my daughter. No matter when, the door of the villa will always be open for you. This will always be your home. Lu Wenhua told Sheng Xiao that he had bought the small mansion from Grandpa Sheng. Now the small mansion belonged to the Lu family. It was because Suzy Pei did not want to leave this place. She wanted to stay here all the time. If one day, Mu Qiqi could not stay in the Sheng family anymore, she would still have a familiar place to stay. Aunt, I am still your Qiqi. I will never change. Suzy Pei hugged Mu Qiqi and turned to Sheng Xiao. Young Master Sheng. Over the past few days, there have been people constantly reminding me, threatening me and beating me up. It's all because of this little thing. Aunt, you should know better than anyone how much I care about this little thing. It was rare for Sheng Xiao to say such warm words. Suzy Pei nodded with tears in her eyes. I understand. That's good. But the person she loved the most in her heart was about to get engaged. Suzy Pei felt sad when she had to send her away. All right, you're also pregnant. Crying for too long will harm your health. Lu Wenhua saw Suzy Pei was sad, so he quickly comforted her. Mu Qiqi was surprised when she heard what he said. Aunt, I didn't have time to tell you. I am an old woman now. That's good. Mu Qiqi quickly helped Suzy Pei to sit down. Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao stayed in the small mansion for the night. It was the first time that Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao stayed in the same room in front of Suzy Pei. At night, the two of them lay on the bed in Mu Qiqi's old room. Mu Qiqi lay on Sheng Xiao's chest and giggled. Looking at the time, Aunt and Uncle had sex before we registered. If you want to see me more, we can stay here before we get engaged. Sheng Xiao kissed her forehead and said, Then, are we going to stay with Sheng Xiao after we get engaged? Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao. No need. Mom is already preparing a new place for us, Sheng Xiao replied. Shengting University is quite good. It's close to the school. No, it's not convenient to have a private bodyguard there, Sheng Xiao said to Mu Qiqi with a complicated expression. You are my little one. I must protect her with all my might. He knew the Sheng family too well. The security guards could easily open the back door for the Sheng family in the villa near Shengting University. So he needed a separate villa for surveillance and protection. Mu Qiqi would not understand it now, and he did not want her to understand it now. What do you mean? Listen to me. Listen to your husband. Do you understand? Mu Qiqi's heart was filled with sweetness when she heard the word husband. Chapter 247. The 18-year-old Mu Qiqi had won Sheng Xiao's heart and entered the Sheng family. She was about to become the legendary crown princess. When the news spread, it became a hot topic in Jianchuan. Huang Yao had beautified Mu Qiqi in public relations. They had also done a lot of publicity and activities. Papa Sheng had completely regarded his son's engagement ceremony as an important publicity tool. Not only that, he even called Sheng Xiao into his office the next day. The father and son rarely sat together to talk about personal matters. Of course, in Sheng Xiao's heart, there was no place for him as a father. Qiqi is just a little girl. You should coax her. She is the daughter of the Shen family after all. But you should understand your grandfather's intention. Qiqi is still young. You still have a few years to think about it. When the time comes, you can tell me if you don't like this girl. He will know how to deal with the aftermath with old Shen. She is just a girl. Don't take her seriously. It is a man's talent to put on a show. Sheng Xiao knew what his father was thinking, but he never cared about what his father thought. As long as his little one entered the Sheng family, he would only chase others out of the Sheng family. If anyone dared to touch his people, he would immediately disown them. As for your wife, I will keep an eye out for you. You can take a look at her from time to time. Qiqi is good, but she can't help you much after weighing the pros and cons. If there is nothing else, I will leave now. Sheng Xiao did not want to talk nonsense with the old man. If you have the time to find a woman for me, you should focus on improving your performance. Huang Yao's quarterly report will be out soon. Papa Sheng's face darkened. You bastard. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He walked out of Papa Sheng's office. Jing Yin was waiting at the door of the office. When he saw Sheng Xiao coming out, he quickly went up to him. Young master, Madam has asked me to find you a new place to live. I've already found a few villas. You can choose one before I report to Madam. Put the documents on my desk. Sheng Xiao said coldly. I've already released him. But what other unpleasant things did the CEO say? Just tell him I am not around when he comes to me. Sheng Xiao turned to Jing Yun and instructed. Also, report to me if you find out that he has taken a liking to a rich young lady. I'm going to nip all his plans in the bud. Understood. And young master, the entertainment magazines are using Miss Qiqi as a celebrity. She must be feeling a heavy burden. After hearing this, Sheng Xiao stopped in his tracks and thought for a moment. Buy that magazine and donate the land to build public toilets for the country. It's time to give back to society. It is time to repay society. With those words, Jing Yun turned and was about to leave his office, but before he left he said meaningfully, Young master, you must protect Miss Qiqi. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. Instead he looked at Jing Yun. Sheng Xiao did not say anything, but he gave Jing Yun a look. Sheng Xiao looked at the villa information on the table, and immediately opened it. He had to make sure that it was the safest and most confidential place before he let Qier move in. The news of their engagement had spread like wildfire. Lu Qianqian had also taken some time to meet Mu Qiqi for tea at a cafe near the school. However, Mu Qiqi was too famous now. That was why people would talk about her wherever she went. Lu Qianqian felt uncomfortable, but Mu Qiqi was calm. Lu Qianqian was not amused. You are acting like the crown princess now. It is always good to get used to it. Have you booked the time? Lu Qianqian asked enviously. Maybe next week or next month. Then I can help you to calm down backstage. But you know I won't be there. I don't want to be a burden. Lu Qianqian said self-deprecatingly. Qianqian. It is good that you understand. You are my best friend. I am the happiest when you and the crown prince get engaged. Lu Qianqian was tearing up. She held Mu Qiqi's hand. You and the crown prince must be together. That will give me the courage to move forward. Mu Qiqi's heart ached. She did not care what the outside world thought of her, but she did not want her best friend to be humiliated under the spotlight. Where is Lin Muan? Have you not contacted him recently? Lu Qianqian wiped her tears and smiled. That coward. Don't mention it. We have not contacted each other for a long time. Mu Qiqi did not say anything else. She walked up to Lu Qianqian and hugged her best friend. You will meet the best. I believe so too. They sat in the cafe for a long time. Then Mu Qiqi returned to the little mansion. But Sheng Xiao was already home. He was with Su Zipei, discussing how to make the simplest chicken soup. Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red when she saw that. Do you dare to eat my chicken? Sheng Xiao leaned on the sofa and asked Mu Qiqi solemnly. I will be very supportive. Mu Qiqi stopped crying and smiled. Sheng Xiao nodded and followed Su Zipei. No one knew what they were talking about in the kitchen. This man was fighting in the market during the day. But when he came home, he behaved like this. The Sheng family would be very surprised if they saw him. After dinner, the man took out a photo of the new house and said to Mu Qiqi, "Jing Yin found this place. Take a look and see if you like it." Sheng Xiao was sitting on the sofa. Mu Qiqi was sitting in the gap between his legs. He was hugging Mu Qiqi from behind. Mu Qiqi took the photo and looked at it. "What's so special about it?" "It's called Jingting. It's very private. And it has a comprehensive security system." Sheng Xiao answered. "It meets all my requirements." "Then I'll listen to you." Mu Qiqi smiled and kept the photo. When Sheng Xiao heard that, he turned her neck and kissed her lips. Mu Qiqi was stunned. "Aunt and the others are here. It's so late. They should have gone to bed." This man was shameless just for a bite of meat. Why would he care about the place? But Mu Qiqi stared at the door of Su Zipei's room the whole time. She was afraid that the old couple would come out. It would be embarrassing. But because of the secret thrill, they were more comfortable than ever. But when they returned to the room, Mu Qiqi hid in Sheng Xiao's arms and felt that she could not show her face at all. This man was really hateful. Chapter 248. Soon, the date of their engagement was confirmed. It would be held half a month later. Mama Sheng had drafted the guest list as soon as possible. But when she handed it to her husband and Grandpa Sheng rejected many of the big shots on the list. Of course, it was not that they did not want to give Sheng Xiao face, but they felt that it was not necessary to make this event look like a wedding. If they invited everyone, it would be embarrassing if they broke up. They only needed a few people to answer to old Shen. After all, the two families had been friends for many years. They could not embarrass the Shen family. Mama Sheng did not agree, but Papa Sheng immediately stopped her and pulled her back to his bedroom. "What do you want to do? How grand do you want to be? I have given you enough face. There are no restrictions. But you have to listen to me about the guests." "How grand can it be if there are no guests?" Mama Sheng laughed. "I won't look for you for this matter. I'll go straight to eighth brother and see if our son agrees. It's just an 18-year-old child. The Shen family has given him enough face. What else do you want?" Mama Sheng did not talk to her husband anymore, because she knew it was impossible to communicate with him. So she called Sheng Xiao. "Son, I have time tonight. Let's meet." In fact, Sheng Xiao already knew that this would happen. After all, he was the only one who cared about Qi. If old Sheng really wanted to, he would have wanted to meet his granddaughter-in-law a long time ago. However, old Sheng did not even mention a word about it. In other words, he did not care who his fiancée was. Sheng Xiao looked at the guest list Mama Sheng sent and put it down. "Just do as the old man said. Son, by the way, I have a guest list here." With that, Sheng Xiao took out the list from the drawer of his desk. "Take a look." Mama Sheng took it doubtfully. Then her frown eased. "That's more like it. You have already thought about it, haven't you? You have to prepare for a rainy day to deal with those old fogies, don't you?" Sheng Xiao asked Mama Sheng. "Mom, I know that Qi is not valued by the Sheng family. So, it is inevitable that I will fight with my family. You must be prepared. If you really treat Qi like this for the rest of your life, I'll have to thank the gods." Mama Sheng was afraid that Sheng Xiao would abandon her. After all, the girl had given him everything. Sheng Xiao said nothing else, but chuckled softly. "Did you invite all these people?" "Jing Yin has already contacted them one by one, and I've called a few of them who hold extraordinary positions last night. They're all friends, and they're willing to do me the honor." Over the years, Sheng Xiao had traveled all over the world, and his network was not built for nothing. It was not a problem to invite a few American tycoons, a French winery tycoon, and a Danish prince. When the time comes, both the Shen families and Sheng Xiao's guests would arrive. Who would be embarrassed if Grandpa Sheng's guest list was so shabby? Then I'm not worried. Mama Sheng nodded, but looked at Sheng Xiao with a deep gaze. She knew very well that no one in the Sheng family could match her son in terms of tactics. Even so, they had lived in harmony over the years. But Qiqi's appearance seemed to have broken that balance. "Don't think too much, Mom. It would come to this sooner or later no matter who it is. No wonder you told me that you would let me meet my daughter-in-law in 3 months. You really kept your promise. Sheng Xiao raised a brow, his smile confident and flamboyant. Wasn't he always like that? Since you've picked a house, I'll prepare it for you as soon as possible. You can move in after your engagement. And 2 bodyguards. Mama Sheng nodded in agreement. I'll prepare everything for you. Sheng Xiao, I'm standing with you for Chi-Chi. Don't disappoint me. Then why are you standing on Chi-Er's side? Sheng Xiao asked his mother, looking intrigued. Mama Sheng thought about it and finally answered. I have a feeling that you would fight us to the death for her. That's not a feeling. It's real. That's why it's your son's life. Don't touch it. Mama Sheng was stunned. She never knew that her son could be so possessive, and did not know if it was good or bad for Chi-Chi to be with him. But she hoped that she was doing the right thing. After Mama Sheng left, Sheng Xiao stared blankly at the guest list his mother had given him. There was no other reason than that he had the urge to avenge his little one. This old man was hiding something. Did he think that he did not know what he was planning? But he was not in a hurry. He still had a lot of time in the future. After the date of the engagement was announced, both the Sheng and Shen families started to prepare. Grandpa Shen was very satisfied when he got to know Sheng Xiao's guest list. So, he invited all his good friends to the banquet. He was doing this to support his granddaughter and cheer her on. Although Grandpa Shen's good friends did not expect that the Shen family would unite with the Sheng family through marriage, because of the difference in seniority, what could they do when they met 2 devils? Grandpa Shen had already thrown away his dignity. In the past few days, the matter between Mu Chi-Chi and Sheng Xiao was not just a hot topic. It was a huge blow to Lin Muan, because he had already predicted in his heart that the 2 of them would never get together, because the background and culture of the 2 families were very different. Moreover, there was a gap in their seniority. So, he had long thought that the 2 of them would part ways one day. But he never expected that they would get engaged. Because of that, Mu Chi-Chi and Sheng Xiao were about to get engaged. As a young master of a rich family, there were not many people who could marry whoever they wanted. They never had the freedom to do so. That was why he drew a clear line between him and Lu Qianqian, because he had never thought that there would be someone who could overcome the restraints of the world. In the past few nights, he had thought about it a lot and kept tossing and turning. He had to figure out what he was afraid of losing, and what he wanted. And Lu Qianqian's sweaty face kept appearing in his mind. He could not get it out of his mind no matter how hard he tried. That feeling was too uncomfortable. Especially when old Lin told him that he was going to attend Mu Chi-Chi's engagement ceremony half a month later. He suddenly had an impulse, and did something very stupid. He called the previous director, and asked if he still had Lu Qianqian's number. After all, didn't he delete her number before this? When he got his phone back, he hugged it and lay on the sofa. He hesitated again, because he knew that little Pepper was really irritating. She might ignore him. She might even scold him for being a scumbag or a lunatic. But he just wanted Lu Qianqian's response. Chapter 249. He was very distressed, but he did not know that his phone was placed beside him, and accidentally touched it. So he sent a message to Lu Qianqian. Are you having sex? Because every time he typed a word on his phone, there would be some related words on it. So Lin Muan accidentally touched it, and chose the related words. Then he sent the message. After a while his phone received a message. Lin Muan picked it up and was shocked. You pervert. Are you crazy? Do you want to be beaten up? When Lin Muan saw this line, all his coolness was gone. He was touched, because Lu Qianqian finally replied, although it was a beautiful misunderstanding. Yes, Lu Qianqian felt very complicated through the screen. She had not contacted him for a long time. Now she suddenly contacted him again. She actually felt like she had lost him and found him again. How could a scumbag like Lin Muan be worthy? Eat sh*t. Let's keep in touch. I also want to try causing trouble. After Lin Muan replied, he put down his phone. He finally got rid of his annoyed mood. He whistled and went to take a shower. He did not want to do things step by step anymore. He did not want to listen to orders anymore. He did not want to contact that little Pepper anymore. When Lu Chanqian saw this, she also threw away her phone in annoyance. This scumbag. Was he still angry? But for some reason, the corner of her mouth was secretly curling up. After the date of the engagement ceremony was set, the most important thing for Mu Qiqi now was the gown she would wear for the ceremony. Mama Sheng really hired a top international designer to tailor the gown for Mu Qiqi. Of course, Sheng Zhao's gown also needed to be matched. They took the night off and went to the boutique. But the designer was a little surprised when he saw Mu Qiqi was still so young. After listening to the shop assistant's explanation, he gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. An 18-year-old bride. You are really amazing. Now almost everyone in the world called Mu Qiqi an 18-year-old bride. Some of them were envious, while others were simply sarcastic and jealous. Sheng Xiao sat on the sofa and hugged Mu Qiqi. His posture was not easy to get along with. It gave people a dangerous feeling of alienation. Mu Qiqi did not say anything, but Sheng Xiao said to the shop assistant, "Change the designer." "Crown Prince, this is." What he said made me very unhappy. I don't care what you say behind my back, but if you can't control your mouth in front of me, you will have to pay the price. I heard your translation just now. The shop assistants were dumbfounded. Their expressions were even uglier than crying. "Crown Prince, please forgive us. These people are just trying to make a living. It's not easy. Since you know it won't be easy, then don't take advantage of it." After Sheng Xiao said that, he stood up with Mu Qiqi. "The measurements are done. I want to see the design in 2 days. Remember, change the designer." Mu Qiqi couldn't help saying, "Xiao Xiao, those words aren't that bad. Besides, don't you get tired of doing that all the time? You're still trying to act innocent after taking advantage of me?" Sheng Xiao glanced at her. "If I don't show my attitude earlier, they will think that I'm really just playing around." Mu Qiqi said nothing. She simply hugged Sheng Xiao's arm. After all, she was about to become a young bride that everyone envied. Even so, she knew very well that she would only have Sheng Xiao after she joined the Sheng family. Not even Mama Sheng could fully care for her. That was why Sheng Xiao did everything he could to establish her authority and protect her. It was all because he wanted to tell others that his people were not to be touched. Mu Qiqi said nothing, but Sheng Xiao understood her silence. "Are you tired?" "I'm tired for you," Mu Qiqi said helplessly. "I didn't do anything. Especially not for you. You'll know if I'm tired later." Sheng Zhao's words had a double meaning. He brought Mu Qiqi to Jingting. Since it would be their long-term residence, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi here to check out the place. This yard has decades of history. Several generations have lived here. But it's well protected because it's often renovated. Mu Qiqi stood downstairs. She was about to say something when Sheng Xiao picked her up and walked into the villa. "Xiao Xiao, I didn't let anyone touch the furnishings inside. I asked Mom to change the bed and sheets. Let's try it out now." "Hey!" Mu Qiqi wanted to resist, but she was stunned when she entered the new house. The bathtub was in the bedroom, and the entire house was filled with French romanticism. It looked like a noble's home. "Actually, it's very depressing, isn't it?" Sheng Xiao asked Mu Qiqi. He did not do anything when he leaned over and pressed Mu Qiqi down. "Huh. The Sheng family and the outside world are giving you invisible pressure," Sheng Xiao explained, completing what he did not say. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao seriously. "But I still want to be by your side. I want to be your young bride." I was very lonely when you didn't appear. It's only when you appeared that I feel that life is not so boring. That's why I'm holding you with all my might now, and not letting you go. You have your aunt, grandfather, and father. But I only have you." Mu Qiqi's heart ached at Sheng Zhao's words. Such a flamboyant man, a man who was like a god, was telling her that he was lonely. But she could understand Sheng Zhao's loneliness very well. The bigger the family, the less sincere they were. Even a small family was used, let alone a diamond empire like Huang Yao, who did not want diamonds in this world. So she kissed Sheng Zhao's lips. "In my heart, you will always be the Sheng Xiao I have a crush on. The Sheng Xiao who brought me to the Ferris wheel, to the revolving restaurant, and to the tattoo shop. That's why I won't leave you easily. Even if the Sheng family is hell, I will go forward bravely for you. Good girl." Sheng Xiao kissed Muqiqi's neck. So, you can tell me directly if there is any problem with the Sheng family. I am your young bride, but my heart is not small. It can hold many things. But what if the Sheng family embarrasses you at the engagement ceremony? Then I'll embarrass them 10 times more than me, Muqiqi vowed. Because she firmly believed that a person's greatest wealth was themselves. She would not change herself for any reason. As long as there was a bottom line, she would never lose her principles when facing others. And to her, the Sheng family making things difficult for her was torturing Sheng Xiao. She would not be a naive girl who would endure everything. She had to protect Sheng Xiao too. Chapter 250. At Jingting Villa. The wedding night was taking place ahead of schedule, while dinner was going on in the Sheng family. Because of Sheng Zhao's marriage, the 4th and 7th eldest sisters had returned early. Aside from them, the eldest young master and the 6th eldest of the Sheng family had stayed in Jianchuan, while the other siblings were scattered all over the world. Sheng Zhao's father was the eldest in the family, but he was the last to get married. He only got Sheng Xiao when the other 3 brothers were born, and so he was the 8th child in the family. Grandfather, do you think 8th brother should go to the cemetery to pay respects to his ancestors before the engagement according to tradition? As for us brothers and sisters, shouldn't we prepare a big gift for him? 7th sister asked the old man, testing the waters. The old man chuckled but waved her off. Your sister-in-law is still young. You don't have to do that. On the surface, it appeared as if he was using Qiqi's age as a shield, but it also revealed to the entire Sheng family that she was someone whom they did not even need to tell their ancestors about. In other words, the old man did not think much of her at all. That was why it was better not to mention it in front of their ancestors. Although we don't have to pay respects to our ancestors, we can't skip the gift. 7th sister naturally had to speak nicely in front of Mama Sheng. 4th sister glanced at the scene, and then at Mama Sheng, and knew how difficult it was for her to be involved in it. And I must bring my friends on the day of the engagement to celebrate 8th brother's birthday. 4th sister was not a meddlesome person, and only went to Mama Sheng's room alone after dinner. Eldest aunt, grandfather's behavior tonight shows that he doesn't think well of the girl, and he doesn't want to acknowledge her identity. And 7th sister is the one who understands grandfather the most. If she says she wants to bring her friends, wouldn't she be bringing her best friend? It's no secret that she wants to introduce her best friend to 8th brother. But it's a complete provocation to bring her to the engagement party, after knowing that 8th brother is engaged. She doesn't think much of you at all. After Mama Sheng heard that, she took a deep breath and sneered. Qiqi is still young. She has become a shield for everything. But before she even entered the Sheng family, she has already been used. That's right. If there's anything you need me for, just let me know. What's 8th brother's attitude? If Sheng Minghui really dares to bring her here, Sheng Xiao will definitely not give her face. Yesterday, this brat told me that Muqiqi is his life. Even I, his mother, cannot touch her, let alone others. Oh, how could 8th brother say something like that? I really want to get to know this little sister-in-law. 4th brother of the Sheng family appeared interested in meeting Muqiqi. You'll see them soon. 4th sister nodded and left Mama Sheng's room. However, she bumped into Jing Yin on her way back. They looked at each other, and Jing Yin immediately lowered his head and called out, Miss Minglan, are you working for 8th brother? I'm going back to my room to rest. Then you should rest. It's been a long day. After that, Lao Si was about to return to his room, but he seemed to have thought of something and turned to Jing Yin. I want to meet this little sister-in-law. Can you arrange it? You can tell 8th brother that I won't make things difficult for her. If there's one kind-hearted person in this family, it's Miss Minglan. I'll pass on my message to young master. 4th sister nodded and turned to return to her room. It was then that Jing Yin withdrew his gaze and clutched his chest. It had been so many years, but nothing had changed. His heart would race every time he met Miss Minglan. He knew why, but he could not say it. Because it was hidden so well, not even Sheng Xiao had noticed it. Late that night, Jing Yin told Sheng Xiao that 4th sister wanted to meet Muqiqi. Sheng Xiao did not object. He knew very well who was loyal and who was treacherous in the Sheng family. Among all the siblings, only fourth sister was truly considerate of others. As for the others, they were all utilitarian. I'll bring Qi there after school tomorrow. Understood, young master. Sheng Xiao hung up the phone and turned to look at Mu Qiqi, who was sleeping soundly on the bed. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, he walked to the study and looked down. He wanted to choose the best place to install the security system. He would do it himself. He would never ask someone else to do it. Qiqi would stir up a storm when she married into the Sheng family. He had to think of a way to protect her. On the other hand, seventh sister called her best friend before she went to bed. Huilan, don't worry. Grandpa doesn't care about that little girl. You still have a chance. Moreover, I tested Grandpa at the dinner table just now. He didn't object to me bringing my best friend here. It means that Grandpa hasn't given up on finding a real wife for eighth brother. You have to show your face in front of Grandpa more often. On the day of the engagement, you can come and see how weak your enemy is. I'm not lying to you. Then it's a promise. You must come when the day comes. It was not wrong to say that Mu Qiqi was weak. She was born with a stain. Even if she was Shen Jianchuan's daughter, as a member of the Shen family, she was not that legitimate. Not to mention that she was a university student. She was also a forensic doctor. There was nothing that Grandpa Shen liked about her. No wonder Grandpa Shen treated her as his own grandson and played house with her. However, she had never thought about Mu Qiqi's position in Sheng Zhao's heart. Perhaps, she thought that no matter how evil Sheng Xiao was, he would not do anything to his sister. So, it would depend on whether she could embarrass Mu Qiqi on the engagement ceremony. The next day, Sheng Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up from school and brought her to the hotel. Mu Qiqi saw that it was not the way home, so she asked him, "Where are we going this time?" "I'm bringing you to meet someone. You didn't tell me earlier." "I'm not prepared at all." Mu Qiqi glared at him. "You don't need to prepare anything to meet this person." Then, Sheng Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of the hotel and got out of the car with Mu Qiqi. When they arrived at the private room, Mu Qiqi was relieved when she saw that there was only one woman sitting at the small dining table. It was because fourth sister knew that using a big table would make people feel alienated. So, she asked the waiter to change the table to a small one. After all, there were only 3 or 4 people. When fourth sister saw her, she immediately stood up and said to Sheng Xiao, "Is this the little sister-in-law who made eighth brother create such a big scene?" "This is fourth sister," Sheng Xiao explained. "You can get to know her without worry." It was too close to Jingting. It was also because old fourth had taken their convenience into consideration. "Didn't we agree to live in a small villa before the engagement? I still want to see Auntie more." "I suddenly regret saying that." Sheng Xiao suddenly pressed Mu Qiqi against a tree by the roadside and kissed her without caring about the occasion. "I wanted to kiss you like this in the small mansion too." Mu Qiqi leaned against the tree and looked at the crowd around them. She blushed. "You are so naughty." Sheng Xiao was satisfied after teasing Mu Qiqi. Then, he let go of her and brought her back to the hotel. Sheng Xiao wanted Mu Qiqi to smile like that for the rest of her life. But at the same time, he felt sorry for her. Because she never cared why old Sheng did not want to see her, why they had to prepare for the engagement ceremony, and why they had to fight the enemy as if it was a battlefield. It was as if she trusted him without hesitation all the way, even if she knew that she was going to suffer. Silly girl. 2 days later, the gowns for the engagement ceremony were sent to Jingting. The bodyguards that Sheng Xiao had requested from Mama Sheng were also sent to Jingting. Besides that, Mama Sheng had specially hired someone to take care of Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's daily life. It was a very thoughtful arrangement. The bodyguard was on standby. As for the maid who took care of Mu Qiqi, Sheng Xiao asked her to come to work after the engagement ceremony. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was standing in the bedroom, staring blankly at the gown on the bed. "Try it on." Seeing the man behind her, Mu Qiqi turned around and said, "I don't want you to see it. Otherwise, there will be no surprise on the day of the engagement." Sheng Xiao pulled her to sit on his lap and nodded. "As you wish." But you have to try it on. If there is anything that doesn't fit, we can change it. It was custom-made. So fast. Sheng Xiao shook his head and explained. This is a gown worn by a princess abroad. I asked someone to modify it and make it unique. It's used to show your status. Mu Qiqi looked at the gown on the bed. She immediately knew how heavy it was. I will ask Qianqian to help me try it on tomorrow. Sheng Xiao did not force her. He pulled her closer and kissed her. It must be very tiring to prepare for the engagement. If you can't take it, I will ask Mom to simplify it. No need. As your woman, am I so weak? How many people are waiting to see me make a fool of myself? I don't want to admit defeat so easily. Mu Qiqi did not have the slightest intention to compromise. Soon it would be the day of her engagement with Xiao Xiao. It would be one of the most unforgettable events in her life. She should not let a few clowns ruin it. Moreover, who said that she was still an outsider after entering the Sheng family? She would tell the Sheng family that she and Xiao Xiao were the most compatible in this world. Are you nervous? No. After all, if someone really embarrasses me during the engagement ceremony, Grandpa and Dad will not let it go. Fourth sister was right. The little one's eyes were shining. At this moment, Sheng Xiao was very obsessed with this little one. You are a bodyguard and a servant. Why don't you just be yourself? Your grandpa doesn't approve of me, but it doesn't mean that I can't get his approval. We still have time, don't we? After hearing this, Sheng Xiao's eyes flashed with a smile. Then, he pressed the little one on the bed. Hey, the gown is on me. Can you at least tidy up the gown? Isn't there only one? After dinner in the Sheng family, fourth sister was about to go back to her room, but seventh sister pulled her back. Sister, I heard that you went to see Sheng Xiao's bride? Fourth sister looked at the owner of her hand and frowned, but she did not show it. I have seen her. She is very beautiful. Chapter 252. Fourth sister let go of her sister's hand and smiled. It's not up to you to decide what kind of wife Sheng Xiao wants. It's up to Grandpa to decide what kind of granddaughter-in-law he wants. I understand that you want to push your little sister up the ladder. But seventh sister, I will not be involved in this matter. You should find someone else. Sister, we're family. Please help me. How about this? I will call Sheng Xiao and ask him if he wants to change his bride. It will be a help to you. Having said that, fourth sister was about to take out her phone. But seventh sister held her hand. Sister, I am just joking. You don't have to take it seriously. You really don't need it? You stopped me just now. You want me to help you? Fourth sister asked seventh sister again. Don't blame me for not being considerate when the time comes. No, I won't. Seventh sister waved her hand. Fourth sister turned around and left. Seventh sister snorted. Do you think you can control everything just because you are older than me? I can't bully you. But I can bully the bride. Oh, I am sorry. Then you won't be able to bully me. The next day, Mu Qiqi invited Lu Qianqian to Jingting. She wanted Qianqian to see if the gown fit her. When Lu Qianqian arrived at the villa, she was surprised. The crown prince is so generous. Qiqi, this villa is so difficult to buy. Now it is your and the crown prince's love nest. Moreover, there are bodyguards. The crown prince is so considerate. You like to laugh at me. Hurry up and help me try on the gown. Mu Qiqi took out the gown from the wardrobe. It was a full-length gown. The hem of the gown was in the shape of a feather. The body of the gown was decorated with feathers. It symbolized the wings of an angel. Lu Qianqian was stunned. Hurry up and put it on. Let me see. Mu Qiqi put on the gown. Then she felt that the front was a little empty. She covered it. My breasts are not big enough. You are wrong. The crown prince knows what is the most beautiful part of you. It is such a waste not to show your slender neck. You are so perfect. Lu Qianqian gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. It is perfect. Mu Qiqi looked at herself in the mirror and felt like she had been reborn. It was as if she was about to become another person. Crown Prince really has a good eye. I'm afraid I've given you all the best things in the world. Mu Qiqi carefully took off the gown and put it back into the closet. Then, she looked at Lu Qianqian. I still want you to attend my engagement ceremony. Didn't we agree before? I'm not going. Lu Qianqian smiled nonchalantly. Moreover, that person would be put in a difficult position if she went. Anyway, I have my own considerations and things I want to protect. You don't have to worry about them. In the end, Muchichi did not insist. Alright then. These few days, Lu Qianqian had been thinking about a lot when she reconnected with Lin Muan. Since Lin Mu and was willing to continue being friends with her despite his family's objections, she could not be so impulsive and make things difficult for her friend. Since the outside world had so many opinions about her, she would try her best to keep a low profile. After having lunch with Muchichi and Jingting, Lu Qianqian went to the martial arts club. Lin Muan was already there. He was waiting impatiently. You've stepped on the ants. I'm going to Jingting to see Muchichi try on her gown. Lu Qianqian changed into her sportswear and walked to the sandbag. Aren't you going to her engagement ceremony? Lin Muan asked curiously. Do you think it's good for her if I go? Lu Qianqian clenched her fist and punched the sandbag. Since you know what to do, why go and embarrass yourself? If you want to go, I have a way. Lin Muan said. I lack a female companion. I can help you to dress up. Won't it be even more embarrassing if you are exposed? Lu Qianqian glared at Lin Muan. Don't keep coming up with stupid ideas. Lin Muan laughed when he heard that. Lu Qianqian, you are pretty and have a good family. Why are you blind? If I'm not blind, how can I be your friend? Lu Qianqian snorted. Let's meet somewhere else. It's not just the martial arts club. You still owe me a day. If you are photographed, your reputation as young Master Lin will be ruined. Lu Qianqian did not think much of it. If worst comes to worst, I will fall into the devil's path with you. Lin Muan smiled warmly. If we want to be friends, we should be the most loyal and considerate ones. Otherwise, we are just plastic flowers. Lu Qianqian did not say anything. She just smiled secretly when she turned around. When she is getting engaged, you should help to keep an eye on her. If there are any messy people who cause trouble for Qi, help her to make a name for herself. Lin Muan patted his chest after he heard that. What's wrong with that? Leave it to me. Then Lin Muan chased after Lu Qianqian and asked, Do you know how to swim? I need a coach. The kind where I can kiss and breathe in the water. And Lu Qianqian's answer was, of course, a beating. The preparation for the engagement was very fast. Mama Sheng tried her best to make it unforgettable for her son. And the Shen family asked Muchichi and Sheng Xiao to go to the Shen family's ancestral hall 3 days before the engagement. Although there was no place for Muchichi in the Sheng family, Sheng Xiao was recognized as their grandson-in-law in the eyes of the Shen family. Tell the ancestors that the Shen family has a new member. Grandpa Shen stood behind them and said to them, Sheng Xiao, I don't know the rules of the Sheng family, but from today onwards, you are also a part of the Shen family. If you dare to let Muchichi down one day, the Shen family's ancestral hall and the rules in Grandpa Shen's hands will be ready for you. I will remember. Sheng Xiao only answered Grandpa Shen with these 4 words. Since you have told the ancestors, you can go now. See you at the engagement ceremony. Grandpa Shen said to them, Grandpa, go. Grandpa Shen drove Muchichi away. Muchichi wanted to say something, but Grandpa Shen had already turned his back to them. Sheng Xiao patted Muchichi's head and led her out of the Shen family. We are staying in Jingting, not in the Sheng family. You can come back to the Shen family anytime. Muchichi turned around and looked at Grandpa Shen. Then, she got rid of Sheng Xiao's hand and knelt at the door. She kowtowed to Grandpa Shen. She would not let down the glory of the Shen family. Sheng Xiao looked at Muchichi. When she kowtowed to him, he said, Qi, it's not too late to regret it now. You are already claiming that you are the grandson-in-law of the Shen family. Do you still want to deny it? Muchichi stood up and glared at Sheng Xiao. Xiao Xiao, you are so worried now. It means that the engagement ceremony will be exciting. Chapter 253. On the night before the engagement, Mama Sheng arranged for them to have dinner alone. She also wanted Papa Sheng to meet his daughter-in-law before the engagement, so that he would not make a fool of himself during the engagement ceremony. In fact, her husband's indifference towards this matter had left a scar in Mama Sheng's heart. So she did not expect her husband to acknowledge Muqiqi's identity, because it was not important. She was never a woman who depended on a man. It was fine if her husband did not like Muqiqi. She would love Xiaoqi just like her son. No one could force others to stand on the same side as them, even if that man was their own husband. It was 7 o'clock at night. Sheng Xiao brought Muqiqi along. They dressed up and went to meet his parents in the hotel. Of course, Sheng Xiao had already given Muqiqi a heads-up beforehand. As a father, he just had to put on a perfunctory front on the surface. There was no need to deliberately curry favor with him, because he knew very well what kind of person his father was. Soon, the four of them sat in the dining room. Papa Sheng studied Muqiqi from the moment he sat down. Although he was looking at her cursorily, he did not make things difficult for her. After all, he still had to give face to the Shen family. Muqiqi did not have stage fright. Her posture was very calm. Every movement of hers was very calm. She showed great manners. Mama Sheng nodded in satisfaction when she saw that. Although Xiaoqi had a rough life, she did not slack off in terms of etiquette. She behaved like a lady of a rich family. This was the first time Papa Sheng saw her, so he could not find any fault with her. So Papa Sheng could only pick on Sheng Zhao's faults. Although you are engaged, you should still focus on your career. After dinner, you should go home. I have something important to tell you. I am engaged tomorrow. Sheng Xiao did not think much of it. It won't affect your good fortune. Papa Sheng snorted, but he could not find fault with Muqiqi from the beginning to the end. Moreover, he was very conflicted. He did not like Muqiqi, but he was afraid of her identity as a Shen. So, he could only ignore her. When it was almost time for dinner, he told Muqiqi, "You are only 18. You are very young. But don't exhaust Sheng Xiao too much. Do you understand? You must be a good wife for him. 18 is the right age to have fun. But I hope that he will still focus on expanding his career. Can you promise me that?" Muqiqi did a double take and was about to answer when Sheng Xiao put an arm over her shoulder and told Papa Sheng, "She won't agree to anything because I'm the one bothering her." Papa Sheng was angry, but he didn't flare up. Instead, he sighed helplessly and left first. "Your father wants you to come home. Let me send Qiqi home first," Mama Sheng said to Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao shook his head and refused. "I'll take her home with me and let her stay in my room. We'll go home together when this is over." When Mama Sheng heard this, she could only nod. Even Mama's worried. "It's not that I'm worried. I just can't bear to part with you for even a second." Sheng Xiao held Muqiqi's hand and smiled at Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng couldn't do anything to her son, so she cleared the way for him. Logically speaking, Qiqi is perfectly justified in going to the Sheng family. She shouldn't have any scruples. Still, I know that the brat doesn't want to make you uncomfortable, so I won't tell the rest of the Sheng family. Thank you, pretty aunt. Muqiqi could feel that Mama Sheng treated her sincerely, from the preparations for the engagement ceremony to the reception of people. That was why she could treat Mama Sheng as her own mother. Soon, the two cars drove into the Sheng's residence one after the other. Muqiqi was left in awe when she saw the entire villa complex. After all, she had seen a lot of things, but she was still shocked by the Sheng family's grandeur. "We went to 8th brother's room from another route. You can rest in his room first." Mama Sheng opened the door to Sheng Zhao's room and settled Muqiqi inside. "If you want to come out and get to know everyone, I can bring you." "Mom, it's okay, Mom." Muqiqi answered a little awkwardly. "You'll be mom after tomorrow. You don't have to be nervous." Mama Sheng said gently and closed the door for Muqiqi. This was the place where Xiao Xiao grew up. It was designed in a very masculine style. It was tough and sexy. The whole room was mainly gray, but it was not monotonous at all. Muqiqi walked around Sheng Zhao's room. Then, she sat on his big bed and waited. She could see that Xiao Xiao did not like to read. There was not even a magazine in his room. At that moment, Sheng Minghui heard that Sheng Xiao was back. So she told her best friend Hui Lan the good news. "Hui Lan, this is your last chance. 8th brother is getting engaged tomorrow. He's living outside now. It's not easy for him to come back. You must seize the chance. Are you sure he's back?" The light in his room is on. Sheng Minghui was very excited. "You're so beautiful. You have such a good family background. And you like him so much. I can't think of a reason for him to reject you. At least you're better than that stunted girl, right? The other party weighed the pros and cons. She felt that this might be her chance. She wanted to see if she could make Xing Xiao not get engaged to Muqiqi. Then I'll come over now. We're so close. I'll wait for you. Sheng Minghui felt that she could still fight for her friend, because she was confident that her friend was better than Muqiqi in every aspect. But she never thought that as the crown prince of Huangyao, Sheng Xiao could get any woman he wanted. Since it was Muqiqi, she must have her strong points. A person's feelings were not about comparing conditions all the time. But of course she was still single. So she did not understand this. At that moment, Sheng Xiao was still in Papa Sheng's study. And Muqiqi was waiting in Sheng Xiao's room. Mama Sheng knew that fourth sister liked her sister-in-law. So, she told her that Muqiqi was in Sheng Xiao's room. Fourth sister had just returned home. She wanted to tidy herself up before going to Sheng Xiao's room. But then, Sheng Minghui and her friend had already arrived at the door of Sheng Xiao's room. Eighth brother, are you there? Sheng Minghui knocked on the door to listen to what was going on inside. Because Muqiqi had just washed her hands, she could hear the sound of water. So, Sheng Minghui was sure that someone was inside. I know you're there. Open the door for me. Muqiqi did not answer. She thought that since she could not hide anymore, she might as well meet the Sheng family. But Sheng Minghui said to Huilan, you can talk at the door. He will definitely hear you. Then turn around. Sheng Minghui's friend said to her, blushing. Chapter 254. Sheng Xiao, I'm Huilan. I know you are getting engaged tomorrow, but... Hearing this, Muqiqi retracted her hand from the doorknob. She stopped moving, because she knew what kind of situation she was in. I'm not satisfied. I want to ask you personally. Can you not get engaged tomorrow? Hey, tell me what's on your mind. Sheng Minghui was a little anxious. She urged her friend. You must have a reason to stop Sheng Xiao from getting engaged, right? Actually, I've been paying attention to you for a long time. Our family background is similar. Moreover, I'm good friends with your seventh sister. I don't want to miss you. So I shamelessly came to your room at night. I want to ask you, if I tell you that I like you too, will you consider not getting engaged to that little girl? There was no response in the room. To be exact, Muqiqi had taken out her phone and recorded the conversation. Can you open the door for me? Sheng Xiao, it's disrespectful of you to do this. At that moment, fourth sister came to Sheng Xiao's room. She frowned when she saw seventh sister and her friend there. What are you doing here? I'm looking for Sheng Xiao. Haven't you given up yet? Fourth sister was a sharp-eyed person. She knew what seventh sister was trying to do. Do you know who is in the room? Who? It's not Sheng Xiao. Fourth sister replied. I didn't expect you to do such a thing. They are getting engaged tomorrow. Are you trying to snatch the bride? Sheng Minghui's face darkened. She looked at her best friend. Both of their faces were red because they did not expect such an outcome. Fourth sister, I just want Sheng Xiao to have more choices. After all, that little girl from the Shin family is not good enough for Sheng Xiao. Fourth sister did not want Muqiqi to be sad. So she called Sheng Xiao. Where are you? Something happened outside your room. Come back for a while. Sister. Since you said you want Sheng Xiao to have more choices, I'll help you inform him. After hanging up, Sheng Xiao left Papa Sheng and went back to his room. But he saw 3 people at the door. So, Sheng Xiao, you should deal with this yourself. Fourth sister looked at Sheng Minghui and her friend seriously. It's so late, and seventh sister is going to start singing? It would have been better if Sheng Xiao had not opened his mouth. But when he did, it was a terrifying tone. Then let's go to the Sheng family's hall to sing. Lao Ba, don't embarrass our guest. Huilan is your guest tomorrow. Is that so? A guest should be where a guest should be. I don't think she should appear in front of my room. Sheng Xiao made a welcoming gesture. Sheng Minghui was left speechless and could only lead her friend ahead. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao gestured to fourth sister to comfort the little one in the room. Fourth sister nodded and made an okay gesture. When they arrived at the living room, Everyone from the Sheng family was invited, including Papa Sheng, Mama Sheng, Grandpa Sheng, third uncle and fourth uncle. Of course, seventh sister was fourth uncle's child. Sheng Xiao, what are you doing at this time of the night? I don't want to. But third uncle, I really want to know how fourth uncle teaches his daughter. Sheng Xiao sat on the sofa, not afraid of anyone at all. Grandpa Sheng was prepared that Sheng Xiao would make a scene. He loved and hated this grandson at the same time. Sheng Xiao, what do you mean? Fourth uncle stared at him and asked. I want to know what seventh sister is thinking. Why did she bring your best friend to my room the night before my engagement? Why? Did she bring me a woman? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui and asked. You are the eldest daughter of the Sheng family, and you are my elder sister. Is it appropriate for you to do this? Sheng Xiao, I mean well. Moreover, Hui Lan likes you. I just want to give you another choice. Not to mention Sheng Xiao. Even Mama Sheng was angry when she heard what Sheng Xiao said. So, I am not Sheng Xiao's mother. You are, aren't you? You even know to prepare another wife for my son. Eldest aunt, that's not what I mean. Since that's not what you mean, you should know shame as a young lady of the Sheng family. You brought an unmarried child to the Sheng family. Moreover, she is in front of Sheng Xiao's room. Do you know how much it will affect him? Who do you want to ruin? Do you need to decide what kind of woman Sheng Xiao likes? Sheng Minghui blushed. She did not know what to do, because Mama Sheng had never been so angry at the Sheng family. That little girl is not good enough for Sheng Xiao. It has nothing to do with you whether she is good enough for him or not. Grandpa Sheng was furious when he saw his family quarreling. Enough. Although seventh sister has crossed the line, she means well. Moreover, there are guests here. Don't embarrass them. Grandpa, I just want to. Don't think about anything. Chi-Chi is in Sheng Xiao's room. She saw what you did just now. Mama Sheng was trembling with anger. She told Sheng Minghui directly. Let the Shen family see how seventh sister looks like. Let them see how different she is from the pimps outside. Xiaoqin, you've crossed the line. Grandpa Sheng scolded Mama Sheng. You want your friend to get engaged to me, don't you? Sheng Xiao, who had been silent for a while, suddenly spoke. No one knew what he meant, but they could feel that his evil nature was acting up again. Fine. Get engaged to me. Then, I will tie her up and throw her into the Atlantic Ocean. You know that I like to watch sharks hunting for food. Or I should say that there is a new amusement park in America. The roller coasters there do not require seatbelts. I have been wanting to let someone try it for a long time. Since Miss Hui Lan likes me so much, why don't you help me try it? Or perhaps, Miss Hui Lan likes the sun? I like to see people being hung on a mountain. Enough. Sheng Xiao, is this how you treat a toy? Sheng Minghui was angry. She likes you. It's not wrong. Since she is willing to be with me, what's wrong with suffering a little? I like to treat women like this. What's wrong with me? You. Didn't you want to ask me if I have another choice? Why? Are you not satisfied with my answer? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui coldly. I have been like this since I was young. Is this the first time you see it? Sheng Minghui's mouth was trembling. She could not say a word. As for her friend, she was so scared that her face turned green. Babe, I think I'll go home first. Hui Lan couldn't stand Sheng Xiao's piercing gaze anymore. It made her shudder. Chapter 255. Sheng Minghui questioned Sheng Xiao when she saw him losing his composure. Even if you don't like her, you don't have to scare her like that. I'm serious about every word I said. Sheng Xiao looked straight into Sheng Minghui's eyes. Let's talk about seventh sister now. Fourth uncle, shouldn't you give me an explanation? Why did your daughter bring another woman to my room the night before my engagement? Sheng Xiao, your seventh sister just wanted to do something for you. You don't have to be so aggressive. Fourth uncle told Sheng Xiao calmly. It's your daughter's fault now. Don't turn your attention to me. If I let this matter go, I'll be even more lawless in the future. I don't know if I'll give seventh sister a black man, or something when I'm in a good mood. Then, I'll let seventh sister show off her international pedigree. Sheng Xiao's eyes were filled with a rebellious light. He was fearless. Fourth uncle was shocked when he heard that. But he couldn't find any words to refute Sheng Xiao, because Sheng Xiao was telling the truth. If Grandpa Sheng didn't punish Sheng Minghui today, it would be a precedent for Sheng Xiao. He would be even more unscrupulous. Grandpa, look at what Sheng Xiao said. Sheng Minghui was shocked too, because it was definitely something Sheng Xiao would do. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath. Then he looked at Sheng Minghui. Apologize to your brother. Moreover, you don't have to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. I'm not the one she should apologize to. Mom, please bring Mu Qiqi here. Sheng Xiao turned to Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng nodded and got up from the sofa. Sheng Minghui was reluctant. But when she thought about the black man Sheng Xiao mentioned just now, her palms were sweating. Sheng Xiao, is it worth it for you to fall out with your family just for a little girl? Old man, it's not because of Qi, or that I'm doing this. It's just that I really don't like the way seventh sister does things. No matter who gets engaged to me today, based on seventh sister's way of doing things, shouldn't she be hacked into pieces? Grandpa Sheng was speechless. Then he got angry. I'm not feeling well. You guys can do whatever you want. Of course, Sheng Xiao knew that no matter what he did today, Grandpa Sheng would blame it on Mu Qiqi. But he didn't care. He just couldn't let the little thing suffer, whether it was now or in the future. As long as someone bullied Qi, he would deal with them first. Soon, Mama Sheng and fourth sister brought Mu Qiqi to the living room. Seeing so many elders, Mu Qiqi greeted them after Mama Sheng introduced them to her. Of course, it was awkward to meet under such circumstances. Mu Qiqi could feel her father's disdain and indifference towards her. Isn't there someone who wants to apologize? Sheng Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi to sit beside him and reminded Sheng Minghui. Sheng Minghui was helpless. She walked up to them and said, Sister-in-law, I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry at me. I promise that I will treat you like a family member from now on. It's good enough that seventh sister doesn't cause trouble. Sheng Xiao looked up at her and said, I hope that fourth uncle can teach your daughter well in the future. An unmarried girl shouldn't worry about other families. Humph. Fourth uncle snorted coldly and returned to his room with Sheng Minghui. The other elders also left one after another. Only Mama Sheng and fourth sister stayed in front of Sheng Xiao and Sheng Minghui. Although we have offended some elders today, it's inevitable for Sheng Xiao to do this. Seventh sister has gone too far. Fourth sister comforted Mu Qiqi. Xiao Qi, don't take it to heart. We have been through this for so many years. It's not because of you. Don't take it to heart. Fourth sister, I understand. Mu Qiqi comforted fourth sister. All right. Seventh sister has gone too far today. Don't think too much about it. Go back and rest early. Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. You still have a lot of work to do. But judging from Grandpa's attitude, he is angry tonight. He might not attend the ceremony tomorrow. Fourth sister guessed. It doesn't matter. He will come. Sheng Xiao was very sure. Then he hugged Mu Qiqi and stood up. Mom, fourth sister, we'll go back first. Go. Mama Sheng nodded. When they had gone far away, she sighed and said to fourth sister, I really like Qiqi. She can endure anything for Sheng Xiao. She is not the kind of person who values a rich family. What the Sheng family thinks is great might not be what she wants. Eldest aunt, I have never seen Sheng Xiao so angry at home. Look at him. He did not care about seventh sister's feelings at all. It's obvious that he is trying to show off his power to Qiqi. So don't worry. Fourth sister comforted Mama Sheng. Moreover, Qiqi is not the kind of girl who will be controlled by others. She is talented and has her own ideas. We can't tell what will happen in the future. Mama Sheng smiled. Then she pointed at fourth sister's lips and said, You are the sweet one. After that they went back to their rooms to rest. However, on their way back, fourth sister bumped into Jing Yin again. So she stopped him. Jing Yin, take good care of your young master. Miss Minglan, you have to take care of yourself too. You have lost weight again. Fourth sister nodded. Come to my room. Give Qiqi a present. I forgot about it tonight. Jing Yin followed behind fourth sister in a daze. Then he saw her taking out a big gift box and a small one. The big one is for Qiqi. The small one is for you. I remember that you liked robots when you were young. You saw a special one in Vienna. So you bought it. Jing Yin's eyes changed instantly. He took the gift and thanked fourth sister. Thank you, Miss Minglan. But in fact, only he knew how turbulent his heart was. Fourth sister did not forget about him. Every time she went, she would bring him a gift. He kept it in his heart to warm himself. On the way back to Jingting, Mu Qiqi peeped at Sheng Xiao more than once. Although she knew that his expression was the same as usual, she could feel that he was angry. I am fine. You are fine. But I am not. Sheng Xiao sped up. If fourth sister did not see it, were you planning to keep it a secret? I have recorded it. I am going to open the door and let them know that Sheng Xiao's woman is inside. Mu Qiqi explained. Do you think that I will swallow my anger? Don't forget that I am also the one who tore Rong Junhan apart. Do you think that your seventh sister is my opponent? You really want to see it? So, I am the one who made you useless? Chapter 256. Do you care? Sheng Xiao drove the car into the parking lot of Jingting and brought Mu Qiqi home. I don't care. I still have Grandpa and Dad. Mu Qiqi said. It won't be too embarrassing. Grandpa Sheng's attitude towards Mu Qiqi would determine how the Sheng family would treat her. And Grandpa Sheng would most likely not attend the wedding tomorrow, because he had forced Sheng Minghui to do it tonight. He was a vengeful person, and would definitely punish him. But he was not worried. He had a way to make Grandpa Sheng attend the wedding tomorrow. When they reached home, Sheng Xiao saw that Mu Qiqi had rearranged everything in the house. She changed into the couple's pajamas and shoes. Everything was for two. Sheng Xiao could not help but press Mu Qiqi against the wall. Are you so impatient that you want to be with me? Mu Qiqi smiled. Mu Qiqi could feel his hot hands moving over her body. She explained, It's so beautiful. Cheer, I feel like I am possessed. Sheng Xiao tore Mu Qiqi's clothes and exposed her chest. The world is so big and there are so many women. Why must I have you? Mu Qiqi unbuttoned Sheng Xiao's shirt and kissed his chest slowly. Because you love me. Right by the door, right on the corridor. Sheng Xiao kissed the little one fiercely. She would become his fiancée tomorrow. While the two of them were passionately kissing, they had unknowingly taken off their clothes. By the time they regained their senses, their bodies had already involuntarily moved closer to the bed. Everything in the house came in pairs. It made Sheng Xiao feel a sweetness he had never felt before. So at this moment, he just wanted to love his Xiao Qi'er. He wanted to give her his most gentle love. So it was rare for Mu Qiqi to feel Sheng Xiao's gentleness. And it was like a feather brushing against her body. I can't take it anymore. You can't take it anymore? Sheng Xiao lifted her chin and smiled. Then he continued what he was doing, making the little woman feel comfortable in both body and mind. Of course, Sheng Minghui was embarrassed and humiliated by Sheng Xiao that night. She threw a tantrum for hours after she returned to her room, but she had nowhere to vent the grievance in her heart. More importantly, she was not allowed to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. Who cared? However, she couldn't let Mu Qiqi have an easy time. So, she called all her good friends and told them to help her cause trouble for Mu Qiqi tomorrow. She didn't believe that Mu Qiqi would be easy to deal with. To her, Sheng Xiao was too much of a scum. She had good intentions, and yet she was treated like this. In front of the whole family, the young lady of the Sheng family had to apologize to that silly girl. Not only that, but Huilan was also scared away. From now on, Huilan would probably never want to contact her again, right? How abominable. Whenever Sheng Minghui thought about it, she would feel annoyed. Fourth sister was also fawning over that silly girl. Would something that even Grandpa doesn't approve of have a good ending in the Sheng family? I'll wait and see. The next day was the engagement ceremony of the Crown Prince of Huang Yao. Because it was too grand, the media broadcast it live from the venue to the guests. Because Sheng Xiao was so influential, Mama Sheng seemed to have made up her mind. She wanted everyone to know that her son already had a fiancé. Although she could not stop her husband and Grandpa Sheng from making other plans in the end, she had to do it within her power. She wanted to do it with a clear conscience for her son and Mu Qiqi. In the wee hours of the morning, Sheng Xiao sent Mu Qiqi back to the Shin family. The next morning, he went to welcome her. Mu Qiqi woke up early and started to dress up. Grandpa Shun's eyes turned red when he saw how beautiful his granddaughter was. I thought that it's still early. You're still too young. I can keep you for a few more years to make it up to you. But, Grandpa, Muchichi held Grandpa Shun's hand. She felt very sorry for him. After I got engaged to Xiao Xiao, I still come home to visit you and second aunt's family. I'm not lost. Don't be so sad. Shen Jianxuan came home from the hospital in the wee hours of the morning. Seeing how beautiful his daughter was, he couldn't help but say, "My dear daughter." "Daddy." Muchichi bent down and hugged Shen Jianxuan gently. "I'm sorry. I haven't done my duty as a daughter. I haven't taken good care of you. Do you think that your father is old?" Shen Jianxuan couldn't do anything else. He could only comfort Muchichi. "Wait for me. I'll definitely recover. Then, I'll take care of my daughter personally. Alright, don't cry." Huang Yu stood at the side and persuaded them. "Sheng Xiao will come to pick you up later. If you cry and embarrass yourself at the engagement ceremony, it won't be good." Actually, there were not such strict rules at the engagement ceremony. But Sheng Xiao was considerate of Muchichi's desire to see the Shin family. So, he sent Muchichi back to the Shin family in the wee hours of the morning, so that she could accompany her grandfather and father. As for Suzy Pei, Muchichi didn't want her to be too excited because she was pregnant. So she did not bring her over. Soon the sky was bright. A beautiful white car had arrived at the entrance of the Shin family. Sheng Xiao was wearing a black handmade suit today. It was rare for him to be formal. It showed the maturity and responsibility of a man. When she saw Sheng Xiao, Huang Yu asked Muchichi to stand up and turn around. It was the first time Sheng Xiao saw Muchichi wearing that gown. Just like what she said, she wanted to give him a surprise. At this moment, when Sheng Xiao saw Xiao Qi putting on the gown for him, he felt indescribably proud of himself. The sense of ceremony rose in his heart. "Sheng Xiao, I'll leave Muchichi to you," Grandpa Shen said. Then, he put Muchichi's hand in Sheng Xiao's. "Don't let anyone bully her. Muchichi is so beautiful. How would Sheng Xiao dare to bully her?" Huang Yu smiled. "Everyone, let's go. It's almost time." Sheng Xiao led Muchichi and walked in front. At this moment, the newlyweds were the most beautiful couple in the world. Mama Sheng and fourth sister also came to welcome Muchichi. When they saw Muchichi in her gown, their eyes turned red without knowing it. "Xiaoqi is so beautiful," Sheng Minglan sighed. "She's young and beautiful. From the looks of it, Sheng Xiao is really cunning." He had his eyes on his young wife at such a young age. He made her fair and plump. Then, like a fox, he took Xiaoqi into his fox nest. Mama Sheng was touched. She smiled. "Chi-Chi is the most beautiful bride I've ever seen." As for Sheng Xiao. Chapter 257. Then, I will allow you to look at me for a while. Muchichi smiled brightly. Sheng Xiao subconsciously held Muchichi's hand tightly and led her to the white car. Then they set off for the banquet hall. Because here, they were about to complete the first major event in their lives, their engagement. Then, the Shen family arrived at the hotel where the engagement ceremony was going to be held. It was on the lawn behind the hotel. Su Zipei was supposed to go with the Shen family, but she felt a pain in her stomach before she went out. Lu Wenhua was so scared that he sent her to the hospital for a checkup. The guests arrived one after another, but Muchichi was a stranger to them. She only followed the man beside her. At the same time, Shen Ruai was dressing up in front of the mirror. It was Muchichi's engagement ceremony. As her cousin, should she attend it? She had nowhere to vent her anger. She wanted Muchichi to feel embarrassed, even if she was going to die. At the engagement ceremony, Mama Sheng and fourth sister returned to the hotel early to welcome the guests. However, Grandpa Sheng did not show up. At that moment, both of them knew that the old urchin was purposely not attending his grandson's engagement ceremony. It was all because Sheng Xiao had caused a scene at Sheng Mansion last night. When people asked about Grandpa Sheng, Mama Sheng could only tell them that Grandpa Sheng was not feeling well and would only come after a short rest. Sheng Xiao was the crown prince of Huangyao. He was his favorite grandson. How could he not attend Sheng Zhao's engagement ceremony? A discerning person could see the crux of the matter. Perhaps the old man did not like the little bride. But when the Shen family heard about it, they would feel uncomfortable. Xiaoqin, what's wrong with Grandpa Sheng? Is he not feeling well? Grandpa Shen asked Mama Sheng. There are so many guests today. If Grandpa Sheng does not show up, how can he meet the guests 7 days later? Grandpa Shen, Dad will be here soon. Don't worry. Mama Sheng answered Grandpa Shen. Today is Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's big day. As their grandfather, of course, he cannot be absent. Grandpa Shen did not look good. Of course, it was because he had heard some bad rumors. So he asked about it. If he did not agree to their engagement ceremony, he should have expressed his attitude right from the beginning. But after he agreed to it, he pretended to be polite. What was going on? The two families had been friends for so many years. Were they going to fall out over such a small matter? Mama Sheng was very calm because Sheng Xiao had said that Grandpa Sheng would definitely attend. She believed in her son. Don't worry, old Shen. Grandpa Shen took a deep breath and continued to greet his comrades and guests. There were many important people who came today. They all wanted to make Mu Qiqi more confident after she married into the Sheng family. At that moment, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. However, Grandpa Sheng was nowhere to be seen at the venue. The guests at the banquet called Sheng Minghui and told her about it. Sheng Minghui was quite proud of herself. Although Grandpa loves Sheng Xiao the most, I am still a member of the Sheng family. Yesterday, Sheng Xiao treated me like that because of an outsider. Of course, Grandpa would show his attitude. Now everyone is saying that the old man didn't appear because he's not satisfied with this little bride. That's how it should be. Help me add more stories. I just want to know how the Shen family is going to show their faces today. Sheng Minghui was sitting in the living room of the Sheng family's mansion. She was talking on the phone and smirking. Don't worry, it's just a small matter. There were so many people at the venue. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was a controversial person. It was very easy to add some spice to the story. Soon, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the entrance of the hotel. But before they entered the venue, Mama Sheng secretly told Sheng Xiao, "Your grandfather still hasn't appeared until now. He will appear," Sheng Xiao said. Then he lowered his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. "Are you ready to go in? My little wife." "Of course, my future husband." Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao with determination. She held his arm tightly. Then, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi into the venue. At that moment, hundreds of people screamed. White balloons and flowers were flying all over the place. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was accompanied by such a young bride. Naturally, the cheers of the people at the venue were even louder. Mu Qiqi held her head high. She didn't panic at all. She stuck close to Sheng Xiao because she knew that at this moment, Sheng Xiao was the only person she could rely on. The two of them walked through the arched door filled with white flowers. Then they reached the stage. The engagement ceremony would be held at 10:48 in the morning. But even then, Grandpa Sheng still didn't show up. The guests rushed forward to take photos with the two of them. Of course, there was a lot of gossip among the guests. Even the head of the Sheng family didn't show up. No matter how grand the engagement ceremony is, it won't be acknowledged by others. This little bride of the Sheng family is amazing. I heard that she was adopted by the crown prince. Then, she climbed into his bed. It's so good to be young. You can do whatever you want with your body. If she didn't do it, how could there be such a good thing today? You guys, don't be so jealous. She is the daughter of the Shen family. It's ridiculous because she is the daughter of the Shen family. According to seniority, the crown prince is the uncle of this little bride. How can an uncle and a niece have such good cultivation? The gossip came one after another. The Shen family couldn't stand it anymore. It even involved Shin Jianchuan. Hey, do you see the man in the wheelchair? That is the eldest young master of the Shen family, who could wake up after 10 years in a vegetative state. He is the biological father of the little bride. Speaking of which, it's even more interesting. They are twins of the same mother but different fathers. I don't know how promiscuous they are. But the Shen family has a military background. Those who are wearing military uniforms are not Grandpa Sheng's comrades. Unfortunately, these words were heard by Lin Mu, and who was squeezed in the crowd. He still remembered Lu Qianqian's instruction. If someone was to cause trouble for Mu Qiqi at the engagement ceremony, he must help them to make a name for themselves. So Lin Muan walked to the two beauties with champagne in his hand. Why are you talking so much when you are attending an engagement ceremony? Even if Mu Qiqi doesn't get Grandpa Sheng's approval, it won't be your turn. The two ladies looked at Lin Mu, and then took a few steps back. Let's go. He is the young master of the Lin family, and also a man not to be trifled with. On the stage, Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao were preparing for the ceremony. But below the stage, these people were gossiping. That was why Lu Qianqian was not willing to appear. Otherwise it would be a good show. Lin Muan sneered. He suddenly sighed at the ruthlessness of the older generation. Whether it was his grandfather or the old man of the Sheng family, they did not have any human feelings in their hearts. Even the crown prince could not force Grandpa Sheng to attend the ceremony. Sheng Xiao stood on the stage. Of course, he knew what the people below the stage were thinking, because he did not see Grandpa Sheng. But at this moment, a helicopter descended from the sky and landed on the lawn. Then a young foreign man came down from the helicopter. He had bodyguards with him, and the bodyguards were carrying real guns. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.